Hey, Camp Son. Hey, Candy Prince. Hey, Let's Lose Some LP. Hey, Lost Edge. Hey, Galaxy Gold. The Adventure Game Pumpy has to make so many copyright notices to movie and game companies to try to make adventures. Oh no. That doesn't sound good. That sounds bad. Hey, Towley. Hello. That sounds bad. I'm going to stream the game now. So, I think we're going to finish this today, but we just got to a part where I think we have to talk to a lot of people. So we just collected evidence on day 2, and this day we're actually confronting people about the evidence we found and asking them their response about it. We found all kinds of interesting evidence. The fingerprints are the most interesting. So we found the Colonel's fingerprints on broken snowshoes, and whoever went out into the snow is like involved with something bad. But it also could have been a cover-up, like maybe he's also involved with another British woman, like the British woman was involved with the murder. So like multiple people, like there could be multiple people involved here, and then others like covering up for them. But I think our butt not the Colonel's definitely involved with the murder. The other suspicion one is Foscarelli. We don't know why his footprints were outside the murder guy's window or his fingerprints on the window. So he is suspicious. Debenham is a little bit suspicious. Our butt knot might have been covering up for Debenham, or they were just having a tryst in some random room. Michelle, this one attendant, is very suspicious, but we also have like at least 1 or 2 fingerprints that we have nobody in the car that is a match for. So how does that happen? Does that mean there's somebody hiding somewhere? We found a box where someone was hiding, and that had the weird fingerprints in it. So, but if so, where are they now? That's the question. So now we basically just have all this evidence, and we have to confront people about the evidence. Okay, if you've missed what's happening, we're confronting all the different characters on the train about the murder. And Poirot sprained his ankle. Hey Ash, how are you? Could be that everyone is involved. I think there's a murderer, but then there's like another person that also is involved in the murder. Maybe the person that hired the murder. I think the princess hired the murderer. Okay, because she has means, she can hire a murderer. And then she got involved, or someone else got involved, and then someone decided to cover up for the involvement. There's a web of intrigue. Poirot's the most suspicious. Yeah, I mean maybe Poirot did the murderer. He wanted to murder a bad guy. The guy who got murdered is bad. Nobody cares. Hey Binky. Hey Thanatos. I'm feeling fine, yeah. And I didn't get sick.
Oh, another thing.
This week. Alright, so we have to finish these conversations. This guy was the secretary to the guy who got murdered, who was actually a kidnapper-murderer. This is a British colonel. Like, all these people are also involved with the kidnapper-murderer that's on the train. They all have, like, connections, too. It's very strange. Game sound effects are really loud. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do.
Is there a will?
Not that I know of. He'd never leave me a cent, really. I was just useful to him. Languages and so on. I'm no linguist, but I can get by in German and Italian and French.
He's hitting on her.
You told me you knew Sonia Armstrong.
The mother of the girl who got killed.
Yes, I did. My dad was the district attorney on the case. So yes.
A different murder.
I was just a kid, of course. A teenager. Schoolboy crush, I suppose, and all that.
I can't really explain everything that's going on at the game if you haven't watched up to this point. Sorry, it's just like a very complex. The guy who got murdered was kidnapped and killed a child. He was a kidnapper and killer. He changed his name. And all these people are tied into that murder. They all have like relations to that murder. Yeah, I didn't get sick. It was just broccoli, sweet potatoes, and pizza, Thanatos. It was just pizza. I cut up a piece of pizza and put it in there.
It occurs to me that in spite of everything, the murder may not have to do with the Armstrong case at all.
Oh? I thought that must be pretty settled.
We have much evidence pointing to the existence of an outsider aboard the train.
Yeah, there's an
One who
outsider.
disguises himself, uses a stiletto to kill, then vanishes into the snow. What do you think?
It's certainly a possibility, but in that case, he'll be hard to catch now. He's had quite a head start.
Or he could be out there frozen in a snowdrift or lying broken at the bottom of a rocky ravine. The body may never be found until the spring thaw.
Well, that conjures up an unpleasantly graphic image. You seem to really enjoy this stuff.
He seems
I enjoy the
suspicious now.
investigation, monsieur. I certainly do not enjoy the fact that a man has died.
No, of course not. Say, I was just wondering. I mean, I have no plans to return to the States right away. I may find myself back in Istanbul. I was wondering if you might consider having dinner with me some night.
I think he's suspicious now. Hey, is this the beginning or the end of the beginning? I don't know. We'll find out. Final level. Hey, Jeremy. Maybe not. You didn't notice it? I don't know. Thanks, Spinky, but I don't know. Hey, Hal. Hey, Hal. Hi. What's up, Hal? Do I know how French Poirot is? He's 100% French. Let's see. Should we be happy to, providing you're not the murderer?
I would be happy to, providing you are not the murderer.
100%.
Oh, naturally.
Hal.
I wouldn't expect you'd want to then.
I expect not.
100%. French. Poirot is French. Did you guys know that? The refrigerated pizza squares looked healthy to eat. Yeah, they were very healthy. And delicious. What's the next game in this series? There's one more game that this company made, Agatha Christie. It's Agatha Christie Evil Under the Sun. And it stars the French detective Poirot. And he is a French detective. Evil Under the Sun. I don't know the synopsis. What's the synopsis? The synopsis is find out how a millionaire wound up with a phony diamond, bringing Hercules Poirot to an exclusive island frequented by the rich and famous. Evil Under the Sun. Okay, so it has to deal with a fake diamond. But they changed the story for their games. Well, I've never seen this version of Poirot. There's a different Poirot in the movie for Evil Under the Sun. And it's like, it looks weird to see a different Poirot. It looks really weird. Look, he looks like me. No, look. Look. I've never seen this version of Poirot. Is this movie good? Let's see. Peter Ustinov? Is that who it is? Peter Ustinov? That name sounds familiar. Jane Birkin, Colin Blakely, Nicholas Clay, Diana Rigg. I've never seen this. Anybody seen this? It's okay for someone else to play Poirot, I guess. Made you laugh? How many people jump on that? Well, yeah, the joke, Kyle, is that when we first played a Poirot game, I grew up watching Poirot with my family. Like, you know, not like seriously, but my parents used to watch Poirot, the TV show. So then I streamed a game with Poirot, and I didn't know. I was like, famous French detective, because I didn't know, because I hadn't watched it recently. I didn't know that he was Belgian. And then everyone made fun of me because I didn't know he was Belgian. So it's kind of like an inside joke because of how dumb I was before. Now we're just really leaning into it, that's all. But yeah, some people are coming in and going like, you know, he's Belgian, right? And I'm just sticking to my guns. I'm telling them no. He's not Belgian. He's French. The movie had Peter Ustinov as Poirot and Diana Rigg. Yeah, over here. Over here, yeah, right over here. Jeez, how many Poirots are there? Not my Poirot. Hashtag not my Poirot. Hey, Litu. You hate that Poirot, Litu? He's great, 10 elements. Hey, 10 elements. Outer Wilds falls into jank, bad jank. Yeah, lots of people are not happy with me calling Poirot French. Really, really not happy. I think more people are unhappy than people who are happy. Probably not a good thing to lean into. I just can't stop myself.
You've got 10 times the spunk of any girl I've ever known.
Alright, so there could be a reason for this guy to be killed other than the Armstrong murder? And that's always, like, there's always a twist like that in a good murder mystery story, right? There's always a twist like that. where it's not actually even anything close to what you think it is. If there's other small pieces of evidence that lead up to the actual truth. Like maybe the murderer was killed and thrown over the cliff, and maybe that's why that we found this knife near a cliff, and we don't know what it was used for. Like maybe that was used to scare the real killer and make him fall off a cliff, is what she's saying now. Okay. Belgian wrench. Poirot is bell wrench. Belgench. Peter Ustinov is great. What else is Peter Ustinov in? Because that name sounds familiar. Ustinov. Peter Ustinov sounds familiar. Was he only in Poirot? It just sounds familiar. What else was he in what's he most famous for? One of Our Aircraft is Missing in 1942. That must be it. Hit movie, One of Our Aircraft is Missing. He voiced Prince Lion and King Richard and Robin Hood. That's probably what I know him from then. I like that movie. Anyway, we got to talk to the Colonel here. Hey, Praximo. Well, lots of Peter Ustinov fans in chat.
I will not answer any more of your ridiculous questions.
He's pissed at us. Okay. We have to go talk to more people now. This is the guy whose footprints... Maybe he chased off the attacker. I wonder if that's it. Maybe he came into the room and when the attacker was in there and chased him off. But why did we only find his footprints outside and nobody else's? That's weird. Hey, give me flavor. You're happy, Thanatos? Good. I'm glad you're happy.
Signore Foscarelli,
Glad somebody is.
I'm here for the truth.
Glad
I think that
happy.
everyone has underestimated this Signore Poirot, and you too, Signorina. You too.
Glad somebody's happy. So we found it. So this guy is the guy. This is the guy who we found footprints outside the murdered window, and also his fingerprints were on the crates in the back that had snowshoes and something else in them, and his fingerprint was also on the window in the murder room.
I found a chauffeur's license in your suitcase.
Yes, but it is a fact I have loved motor cars my whole life. Selling them, though, is much finer than driving other people's cars.
The license is issued by the state of New York. You said you lived in Chicago. Chicago is not in that state, is it?
No. Chicago is in the state of Illinois.
That's weird and suspicious. Suchet is the definitive Poirot. He really is. But Ustinov is still good? Okay. Sounds good. Messed up your back, Lietu? Well, take care of your front. You don't want to mess up both sides.
It will be a point in your favor if you tell me the truth.
You talk like the American police. Come clean. That is what they say. Come clean.
You were arrested by the American police. Was that in New York?
Arrested? No, never. They could not prove anything against me.
That's what my grandmother has told me. You mess up your back, make sure you take extra care of your front. Because if you mess up both sides, you got nothing. That's what she always told me. Hey, RBG. Belgium has done little for the world? What do you mean? Belgium exports cars, refined petroleum, packaged medicaments, blood, anti-sera, vaccines, toxins, and cultures. They export 20 billion of blood and anti-sera and 12 billion of diamonds. What do you mean they do nothing for the world? What's the deal? You're from Chicago, you're from New York. Spit it out, partner, or you're going out the window. Oh, he was the chauffeur for the Armstrongs. Why is everyone in this train tied to this Armstrong murder?
You were the Armstrong chauffeur, were you not?
Since you know, why ask me?
Why did you lie to me?
Lie? Lie? I did not lie. I was not frank.
Why?
Yeah, you're...
I do not trust the
Foscarelli.
Yugoslavian police.
You're not frank.
They do not like Italians. They would not have given me justice.
The weirdest thing so far is that everyone is tied to this Armstrong murder. So if there's no reason for that, then that's kind of like strange coincidence. Could be a ninja, Tabli. We could be a ninja. Death on the Nile has a Poirot from Ustinov, and they shot in Egypt, really. Maybe I'll watch that someday. Hey, my dude. chocolate and waffles. Oh, I love Belgian waffles. I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to be racist. But Belgian waffles? Oh man, they're so good. There used to be this place near me. You could get ice cream and Belgian waffles. You know, it's weird. I mean, but yeah, it was so good. It was so good. Let's look at a picture of ice cream and waffles. Let's just look at it. You would get ice cream and waffles. Here you go. Here, let's look at this picture for a little while. Let's just sit and look at this picture for a little while. Ice cream and the waffle. Looks good. Looks pretty good. AG pudding, I'm fine. Beers? Oh yeah, Belgian beer. Belgian style beers. One of the only times I actually can stand. Belgians invented French fries. Oh, there was this Belgian bar where I used to live also that had, yeah, really good French fries and beers and stuff. It was my favorite place. But it was a hole in the wall. It was really small. But it was great. Let's zoom in even more. Get that cherry out of here. Hit that off with a golf club. Let's zoom into this. Let's just look at this for a while. I'll play the game while this is up on the background.
Don't you think you should come clean, monsieur?
It is true. I have not been frank with you. The word frank, it is odd, no? It is a man's name, but I think it is correct here. I am not frank. Sometimes, you know, a motor car may not be perfect.
Whoops. A motor car may not be perfect, but blah, 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 blah. I didn't say anything important. I'm going to make this my new background for inside the house. Waffle. So he didn't say, but he's also tied to the Armstrong murder. So, like, everyone in the train is somehow tied into the Armstrong child murder. This is not the happiest game. There's a child that was murdered, but then the person who murdered the child got murdered, so that's a good ending. But now we're investigating the murder of the child murderer. Who cares? I'm not invested. I don't care who killed him. I'm happy he's dead. I want them to get away with it. If we find the murderer, I want the murderer to get away with it. I hope we don't put the murderer in jail for murdering a child murderer. You know? I'm not invested anymore. Love sugar? Tell me about Daisy Armstrong. Why?
Tell me about Daisy Armstrong.
The mother? Or was that the kid?
Little one.
The kid.
Ah, she was the delight of the house. Tonio, she called me. They all did. She would sit in the car and pretend to hold the wheel. Ah, such a beautiful little one.
Yeah, they had Belgian duck fat fries. I don't know why duck fat seems like... I don't know why duck fat has to be on the fries. But they were good. They were good. They have a good comic book culture. It was duck fat. Duck fat fries. The HQ for natives in Brussels. Hey, Clibby. RGC Big Boy. Beers and chocolate and Tintin. Tintin? Tintin's Belgian too? I thought Tintin was French too. I really thought... Is Tintin Belgian? What else is Belgian that I thought was French? Hey, Learnin' Russ. Hey, Mad Mardigan. Hey, Enma Rune. You go for a waffle? Me too. All I have is pancakes. I haven't been Hank with you. I haven't been John with you.
Have you been frank about your movements last night?
I had nothing to do with that business. It was not I who killed that pig Ratchet. You cannot prove anything against me.
Thank you, Monsieur Foscarelli.
Why did we not confront him about his footprints? But he hates Foscarelli. So maybe he was the second stabber. There was 2 stabbers. Foscarelli deserved to be killed. Sponsored by Duck Fat Fries. Duck fat, yeah. Duck fat. How much fat is in a duck? How much fat do you get out of a duck? Like a tablespoon? Anyway, original McDonald's fries were fried in beef fat. Cows probably have a hell of a lot of fat, but a duck? Once you take off the feathers, there's barely anything left on a duck. Let's look at duck without feathers. There's barely anything left. They're like the size of a thimble. I can't find a duck without feathers. But I did find this owl without feathers. and it looks fake. But this is supposedly an owl without feathers. Okay, look, yeah, look how it looks like we're doing something wrong here, like inappropriate, like invading that owl's privacy. All right, this is the widow who was like the, wasn't she the, how was she tied to the Armstrongs?
I understand we'll be underway soon.
Yes, the snow is being cleared now.
There's duck in your cat's food. That must be fancy. Maybe it's like duck toenails. Maybe it's like, you know, because duck is expensive. Duck is very good, but I feel bad eating a little duck, you know. Imagine it quacking at me as I'm eating it. Quack, quack. You know, it just wants to swim around and quack. You know? Does it deserve to be eaten? I don't know. Does anything? I don't know. Yeah, ducks, yeah, they're greasy, fatty. Ducks are they're greasy, and that's true, they are, right. Yeah, that's actually a good point. They are really greasy and fatty. Duck's nasty. Games on VHS. The Smurfs are Belgian? What? I never thought about where the Smurfs were from.
I'm sorry you'll miss your boat to America.
Under the circumstances, I've decided to stop in Paris for a few days.
That's
play
true.
with my grandchildren.
That's true.
And recuperate from this trip.
Yeah, now that I think about it, ducks are really, yeah, that meat is real greasy and fatty. That's true. That's true, that's true. That's true. One time you found a chicken without feathers, you took your buddy and you said, look, it's a man. It looks like a person. Yeah, they look like, they're just people under those feathers. They're just people under those feathers. You greasy and fatty, Guinea Prince? I'm sorry. Your void works.
Have you thought of anything else that might be helpful
This is
to
the
our
widow.
investigation?
Well, you certainly have everyone in an uproar.
American
Maybe
Widow.
next time you'll be able to be more discreet. Oh, I forgot. You probably won't be doing any more investigating after this, will you?
That's all.
Oh, damn.
That wasn't helpful? I thought it was.
Good day to you, madame.
She's kind of a bee, this one. She's a real ass. I don't know that she's tied into any of this, other than she was next door to the murdered man's cabin. This is a private detective who was supposed to be protecting the murdered man. And he didn't, but he could also be the killer.
Monsieur Hardman?
I owe you an apology, Miss Marceau.
You do?
I wasn't very polite when we first met outside the station. And I came on kind of strong when you caught me going through Michelle's things. There's no excuse for it. Fact is, I've always liked French girls. And that's not a line, just the way it is. That makes my behavior even worse somehow, I think. I'm sorry.
Awkward.
Thank you, Monsieur
Look at the
Hardman.
camera.
I accept your apology.
Thanks.
She's French.
So exactly what's up on this train?
She's
Seems
French.
bughouse to me.
To me, too, sometimes.
Fire away if you want to grill me some more.
She's French, but is she not talking like she has an English accent? I'm confused. It sounds like she has an English accent, but she's actually French. This character, they invented this character for this game. You assist Poirot, who sprained his ankle. And the story in this game is different from the book and the movie. Okay, and continue.
Have you done any more investigating of your own?
Nope, after you caught me, I figured it wasn't worth it. Snooping around might make me look guilty. I've been sitting tight.
Yeah, so this guy came on pretending to be a typewriter salesman, but he was actually hired by what's his name? Hold on, I gotta pull up the name list, because the names list. He was actually hired by Ratchet, whose real name is Cassetti, the murderer guy, to protect him. And he didn't do a good job, but the guy didn't deserve to be protected anyway.
It seems obvious the murder is tied to the Armstrong kidnapping.
How did you and Poirot get wise to that? That's what I'd like to know.
We guessed.
Okay, I'll pretend I believe that.
Well, we got wise to it because we found a piece of paper that mentioned it. That's how we actually got wise to it. That Cassetti typed out himself. Ratchet typed out himself, or we think he typed it out because he was always typing crap out. American Widow, stay away from me. So, used to live in a dorm, and an international student brought home a live duck she caught. She was gonna kill it and... Yeah? Really? Interesting. That's weird. Is that true? That seems like a... Hey, Enthusiasm. Creep number 2. Creep number 2 found.
You were not the gardener at the Armstrong house, were you?
Seems like a story people tell.
They didn't have a garden. I'm beginning to believe I'm about the only one on this train who had no connection to that case.
Have you any ideas of your own about the crime?
Not making it up.
I admit it's got me beat.
Yeah, but sometimes people, like, tell those stories, you know, like, but it's not actually true. Like, you hear about it. I guess it's possible, but it sounds like one of those stories, you know? I'm not saying you're making it up, but somebody else might have been making it up, you know? And then you heard about it, you know? But I guess it's possible that you would go to another country and then just start, like, hunting game. But how would you catch a duck? How the most suspicious thing... Your wife was there when she brought the duck in? Oh, okay, so she didn't, like, hear about it? How would you catch a duck? Like, how do you catch any kind of animal? They're too fast. What are you going to do, chase a duck? I guess ducks are not that fast. Actually, they're not that fast. You could probably easily catch a duck. I've never tried to. I guess you could easily do it, but, I mean, it would kind of be a big mess. Probably a bunch of slipping and falling, splashing in water involved. Hey, Marmot. Yeah, like, I mean, when I was in school and things, you know, there was always these stories people would tell. You know, and they were not true, but people would spread them as if they were true. Was the duck dead? What would you do to the duck? Like, strangle the duck? Like, what, you catch it and then strangle it? You're just doing that in, like, front of people? I'm going to go, you know, to a foreign country for college. Oh, a duck. Let me just run over there and strangle this duck in front of in front of my co-students. With a shotgun, some snares. Well, I wouldn't assume, like, a college student, like, had some snares and a shotgun. Maybe. Just got the duck. I mean, if you're in college, you just go to, like, a restaurant.
I don't think she's in the mood for conversation.
They want to catch a live duck, you know? Like, the effort it takes to catch a duck, you know? I guess duck is expensive, but save your money up and just go to a restaurant. Don't catch a duck and strangle a duck. Cook it on the stove. Whatever you do to a duck. You know? It's like, yeah, pratfalling with a duck in each hand. Falls out, runs away, you try to pick it up, it slips, you know. Brought it home alive.
I don't think she's in the mood for conversation.
That's Debenham. She's a little bit suspicious too, though everyone's kind of suspicious. It could be anyone. Anyone could be the culprit in this mystery. I like how the choo-choo train wheels turn on the loading screen, you know? Oh, it's already loaded in. We didn't get to see it again. Okay. This is, like, there's a couple people that aren't, like the maid to Princess Dragamov doesn't, like, the maid to the Russian princess doesn't seem suspicious. The servant of Foscarelli doesn't seem too suspicious either. Like, the valet, I mean... I wasn't going to say that the secretary seems suspicious, but he definitely is. The doctor is, like, mad suspicious. Like, the attendants and the engineers and stuff don't seem suspicious, but I'm wondering if maybe one of the attendants was replaced. Was possibly replaced, like, someone was lured on and then they were sleeping in that box. And then they were, like, disposed of and, like, replaced. I'm wondering if that happened. Anyway, let's talk to this doctor, because he's mad suspicious. Europeans do that? They, like, catch ducks, alpacas? Is that true? If you're in college, you'd be drunk enough to strangle a duck? I could never get drunk enough to strangle a duck. I would get drunk. If I would get drunk, I would say, I would get drunk, like, to go into debt to buy duck, have someone else cook it for me. That's what happens if I get drunk. I would never strangle and cook a duck. Don't take a swan. Swans are pretty strong, yeah? Saw a lady running down the road with an escaped lioness. On video. Oh. Okay. A lady running down the road with, like, what, on, like, a leash?
Dr. Constantine?
I thought you had forgotten about me. You have further need of my expert advice.
This doctor...
I'd like to talk to you about that, yes.
Good.
This doctor is suspicious as... There's not a lot of dialogue here, which is good. Maybe we're like through most of it, but we do have to talk to people.
Could you give me an account of your movements last night?
My movements? Surely, I am not a suspect.
Dude, you're a big-time
But it is
suspect.
absurd. I joined the train at Belgrade. I am the sole paying passenger of the Athens-Paris coach. Surrounded by the working staff. The doors are locked between my coach and the coach to Calais. So, I could not have committed the murder.
That will do for now, Doctor.
He got on the train at Belgrade. I wonder if he was replaced. I think somebody's impersonating somebody. The weird clue we found about him was the thing about chlamydia. Antibiotics and their use in treatment of primary chlamydia-induced enteritis. That doesn't sound good. Chlamydia-induced enteritis? I don't know what enteritis is. But if you get chlamydia and it's inducing something else, not only do you get chlamydia, you're getting something else too. That doesn't sound like a walk on the beach. Hey, Magic Eel, good morning. That doesn't sound like a day at summer camp. Some chlamydia, you get chlamydia and it's inducing something else. That doesn't sound like, you know, a day at the circus. Feel like you missed a lot, Magic Eel? I've been on a mystery game kick. I think we started the Agatha Christie game Friday. Oh wait, when was it? I don't remember. We played 2 in a row. This is the second one in a row. Did we play one before this too? I don't remember. I don't even remember. What have we been playing? I can't remember. My brain goes blank. Let me see. And then there were none. Before that, we played Dracan, Order of the Flame. So, yeah, we're on a 2-game mystery game kick. Yeah, 2-game. 2 Agatha Christie games in a row. I don't think the next game will be an Agatha Christie game. I think we'll take a break just because this game was a lot of, like, talking. I think I'm going to play something more action-y, but we will play that last Agatha Christie game. Yeah, we played, and then there were none, Magic Eel, and now we're playing this game by the same people. And they have one more. Starring French detective, Monsieur Hercules Poirot. Enough trouble thinking someone that's strangling ducks. You know, a guy who set his own feet on fire. After you see that, you'd leave people to do anything. I guess I've never really seen people do really stupid stuff in person. It's all like on the internet, you know, and those people aren't real, you know. Yeah.
I have nothing more.
The doctor's really suspicious because the person in the attendant uniform who was impersonating the attendant supposedly had a mustache and was said like had a mustache and a high voice. But that sounds like Poirot, but I don't think it was Poirot. He sprained his ankle. Alright, these are the Hungarian diplomats.
Pardon me, Count. I still have 1 or 2 matters I would like to discuss.
Then please, do so.
They don't seem suspicious, but they just seem weird. These guys are suspicious only because they seem weird. I don't think we don't have any clues tying them to anything yet.
Did you notice the grease spot on your passport? See it just at the beginning of your wife's first name?
These things happen when traveling.
Grease spot. A grease spot on their passport. Chlamydia is not a flower. Chlamydia isn't so bad, it clears up. Really? Okay, I don't know. Chlamydia-induced walk on the beach. Oh, really? Enteritis is a walk on the beach, Sabine? Hey, Cortan. And then there were none, yeah. Maybe the murder someone who has a passion for crime committing it.
Have you remembered anything about last night that might help us?
Hungarian diplomats.
Nothing.
That will do for now, Count Endraigny.
Wait, that's suspicious. So, their dual passport has a smudge on the beginning of the names? Oh, yeah, it does. There's a smudge at the beginning of the names. Ulf? Rudolph? I wonder if it's Adolf. Hitler? Elena? What was Adolf Hitler's wife's name? Schmelena? Hitler. Hitler and his wife. It's Hitler and his wife. Wait, yeah, it's smudged as if it was changed? Or maybe, you know, someone was just eating a donut.
Countess, I'm sorry to bother you again.
Talking
but
is
I wonder
the
if I might
worst.
have another word with you.
Certainly.
I hate talking. I hate when people are going blah, blah. You know? Look back at the videos when you had your thing down. Are you okay? Yeah, Magic, you've been having a hard time. Are you okay now, or are you still getting through it? Yeah, I'll make sure I get all the VODs up on YouTube if they're not on. I got all caught up on YouTube with all my VODs, and then I stopped uploading things for like 2 months. So I'm behind again. How many? I don't know. Black Mirror 3 was the last game I uploaded there. I was like, I'm all caught up. I'll upload one video every day, and then I did nothing for like 2 months. Good job. Is chlamydia mentioned in the game? Yes. I didn't commit any murders, Thanatos. I'm not a murderer. Does this face look like a murderer? Ava Braun. Ava Braun! Hitler! Does this look like the face of a murderer? Ava Braun and Hitler. Adolf. Hitler. Murderous Hitler.
Do you remember when I showed you this handkerchief? Handmade, embroidered in Paris, and of course, the letter H. 3 ladies aboard have the letter H in their names.
Uh-huh.
But Madame Hubbard considers such a handkerchief useless.
Really?
Mademoiselle Debenham's middle name is Hermione, but her handkerchiefs are dainty linen, not expensive.
Really?
Hildegard Schmidt is a lady's maid, not a lady.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you telling me this?
It leaves only you and Princess Dragomirov, but her first name is Natalia.
Yeah?
It isn't my handkerchief.
Yes, it is. Your first name begins with an H. Doesn't it? Hitler.
There is a wet luggage label on your suitcase.
Yeah.
Oh?
Pulling it back, I found the initials HMK.
We did?
Well, that is fascinating, isn't it?
We did? I don't remember doing that.
You told me you have never been to America.
I've never been to America.
When you say you've never been to America, you say it with an American accent.
These questions are pointless.
These are observations, Monsieur Leconte, not questions.
You take too much upon yourself, mademoiselle. You are not a detective. You are a clerk in a train office, and your employer will hear her a representative of this railway, treated a diplomat and his wife.
So they are suspicious. A bigger man who could do the big stab wounds and someone who could do the little stab wounds. It's these two then, huh?
Why was the grease spot added to your passport and the label to your case?
My wife has told you the handkerchief is not hers. There are no H's in her name.
It's
Let
Hitler.
that be an end to it.
This is Hitler.
Why did you hide your true identity?
Surely you can guess the reason. This man who called himself Ratchet murdered my baby niece,
Oh.
killed my sister, and broke my brother-in-law's heart. 3 of the people I loved best and who made up my home, my world. Of all
Oh.
the people on this train, I alone had the strongest motive for killing him.
I give you my word of honor. Helena never left her compartment last night.
Oh, so she's related to the Armstrongs too? Wow, everyone's related to this child murder. All in the same place at the same time. What is this, a reunion? Where's the bunny? Over there. On the ground over there. Her dress is tight, just like Hitler used to wear tight dresses. Want to know the context of the haircut video? There is no context, it's just a haircut video. Hey, Heat Legend. You don't know how anyone eats meals on trains. You ate a bowl of gazpacho while riding the subway. Very messy. Did you? Yeah, he ate a whole big bowl of gazpacho on the subway. Full to the brim, splashing around.
Then the handkerchief is yours.
No, it is not. I know I can't hope to make you believe me, but I assure you that is the truth.
When we learned who the man was, and that the handkerchief had been found with the letter H near his body, I pointed out to Helena it would be better to remove any connection
Helena,
to her.
Hitler.
A luggage label, a grease spot to cover the alteration. What could be simpler?
What could be
I have
simpler?
read quite a bit about crime, Monsieur Leconte. I hope you will take it as a compliment if I say you have the makings of a very fine criminal.
Yeah.
I think I will not take that as a compliment.
What
no.
could be simpler?
Madame la Comtesse, the motive for the murder lies in the past, in the tragedy that broke up your home. Help me. Take me back into the past.
Wait, how is she related? If they're both Hungarian diplomats? Okay, so tell us about the...
Tell me about your sister's household.
What can I tell you? They're all dead! All dead! All dead! Sonia, Robert, darling!
I heard you, they're all dead.
That curly hair, impossible to comb, that sweet, sweet smile.
Yeah.
Tell me about the nursery maid who committed suicide.
Suzanne. If she was involved, I'm sure it was innocently. Chatting idly with someone, giving the times of Daisy's outings.
The nursemaid? So the child was killed, and then everyone else in the family like killed themselves too. It's weird.
What was Suzanne's nationality?
She was French.
Oh, just like Poirot.
What was Suzanne's last name?
I was only a child myself at the time. All we called her was Suzanne.
Suzanne, oh Suzanne, Come in and shine for me. I come from Alabama with...
Was there a nurse?
Yes, a trained hospital nurse.
Susanna,
New doctor was her
don't you
name.
cry for me.
Did you have a tutor or governess,
I'm
perhaps?
from Alabama
Yes, she was a
with
dragon. English.
banjo on my
Rather
knee.
Scots. A big red-haired woman.
A big red-haired woman. Man, I probably should have listened to that really important clue, but I didn't. I'm sure all your old friends were on it. You ever been on a train where everyone is related to a child murder that you are also related to in some way? I never have, but I've never been on a train, so maybe that's just how trains are. Why do all the people in this talk like robots from a Disney park ride? That's pretty much every 3D adventure game, that's how people talk. Shadowline. He's the diplomat, she's his wife. So this guy happened to marry...
What was her name?
Miss Freebody, if you can believe it.
How old was she?
She seemed frightfully old to me at the time. But I suppose she couldn't have been more than 40.
I know you were only a child at the time, and that the passage of years changes a person, but have you seen anyone on this train who reminds you of any of those people?
No, mademoiselle.
Whoops, I should have listened. I don't know who she's talking about. The nursemaid? Whoops, should have paid attention to that. Oh, well. Whoopsies. Maybe Poirot. Hopefully Poirot will explain it at the end. She's the aunt of the dead child. Right, yeah. And she was younger than her sister. Right, yeah. I did get that. So this is the dead guys of L.A.
Monsieur Masterman, you were once in military service.
Yes, miss, but I can't think how you could know.
Love's Captive by Mrs. Arabella Richardson.
Ah, yes. One of the privileges a soldier retains after he's mustered out. Access to the Royal Military Library. It's quite well stocked. Not all strategy and tactics and memoirs, as you've discovered.
What was your regiment?
Miss Marceau, I'm going to tell you the truth. My service is, of course, a matter of record. I don't wish to hide it. I'm quite proud of it, as a matter of fact, but it's easily researched, and the connections will be found.
Connections?
I'm sure you must already suspect. Yes, I knew Colonel Armstrong.
Another guy with a
I was his
connection.
Batman in the war, and
Batman.
afterwards his
You
valet
the
in New
Batman?
York. I'm afraid I concealed that fact when you questioned me earlier.
You're Batman?
It was very wrong of me, miss. I feel better now that I've made a clean breast of it.
You need a clean breast? Batman? Okay, so this guy was also tied to the killing of the... So he was related to the father of the child? That was killed, who the person he was serving killed?
Would you like to change your story about last night?
Why, no. It is as I told you.
What do you know about the Foscarelli?
Do you have anything more to tell me of the Italian
Who he was
gentleman?
rooming with.
No, miss, and I hope you're not suspecting Tonio in any way. Tonio wouldn't hurt a fly, and I can state positively that he never left our compartment all last night. Tonio may be a foreigner, miss, but he's a very gentle creature. Really. Not like those nasty, murdering mafiosi one reads about.
Oh yeah, the knife we found, it said it was something like a mafia person would use.
You seem to know Tonio better than you led me to believe.
Well, yes, we work together. Well, he hasn't told you yet. I thought he had. That's why I... Oh, dear. I think I have nothing more to say.
Good day, monsieur.
Yeah, so he knows Foscarelli? Interesting. Maybe he uncovered that Ratchet was who he was and then decided to have him killed on this train by Tonio, his bro from the Mafiosa. A Batman is an orderly or soldier airman assigned to a commissioned officer of personal service. Okay, let's look up. Let's search for that and see if we can find any pictures of an airman assigned to a commissioned officer. Oh, here's one. Here's a picture of one. Okay, so this is a Batman in the in a military, and an orderly, a soldier or airman assigned to a commissioned officer as a personal servant. This is a Batman. Okay, cool. Thank you. That's suspicious. You're suspicious.
I shan't change my...
Suspicious. That's suspicious. That's suspicious. The H handkerchief we found on the floor of the dead guy's room. Alright, this is the servant. This is the Russian princess. This is her, like, maid. Or, like, you know, helper.
I have a few more questions, Frau Schmidt, if I may.
Yeah, of course.
It's a train full of freaking liars, and they're all connected to this murder, which is weird.
How long have you been with Madame la Princess?
10 years.
15 years, Schmidt.
Yeah, that is right. 15, mademoiselle. I am sorry. This murder, this waiting, it distracts me.
Batfleck. Yeah, the funniest thing about Affleck Batman, I don't even think I saw any of the movies with him as Batman. I think I saw Batman Superman on a plane, and that he was, I don't remember it, I was like sleeping half the time. Is like how like depressed it made him to be Batman. Like he just didn't handle that very well at all. He's wearing the mask wrong. He's got to like pull it back a little bit, right? It's like too front. He looks like he does kind of look like a child in the thing. You know what was coming? A real picture of a Batman. Hey, lasses. Okay. Batman, Superman on a plane. Yeah.
I understand you are an excellent cook.
Cool.
Yeah, indeed. All of my ladies have said so. Your Excellency.
Calm yourself, Schmidt. You don't know what you are saying.
That is true. I do not know what I am saying.
That will do for now, Mademoiselle Schmidt.
All my ladies have said so? Wait, you got other ladies? What's going on here? There's so much going on. I can't parse it all. This information. He's a good Batman, but the writing of his movies was not great. Okay.
I have returned to you, Your Highness.
I need to try to sit...
I thought you might.
And watch those. There's just so many good movies to watch. It's hard to sit down and watch like what you know is going to be a bad movie. Which or what you heard is a bad movie.
I'm having some difficulty locating the owner of this handkerchief.
I am sorry to hear that. If you had asked me, I could have told you it is mine.
What? It's yours? How is it yours? You don't have an H in your name. What does H stand for, ho? Yeah, ho? You wet the bed while wearing Spider-Man pajamas? Oh, that stinks, lasses. I only wet the bed once in my life, and I think I was 5 years old, and I was at my friend Rusty's house. And for some reason, it was a sleepover. I think it was my first sleepover. And Rusty was like one of my better friends, you know? We were good friends. And for some reason, I like wet the bed at his house. And then I remember his parents being like, what happened? And I was like, oh, I spilled water. But then they had my parents like come and pick me up. And then I never was invited over Rusty's house again. Like their parents were not very understanding. I never, honestly in my entire life, I never wet the bed. Only that one time. But now Rusty's parents forever probably remember the kid as me as a kid who wets the bed. You know? And, you know, I don't think we were really the same ever since then. I think Rusty, like, moved away a couple years later. I think that's actually what happened. Only, I was probably a little bit, like, scared my first sleepover, being out of my own house, you know? And I was only 5 years old. 5 years old. I don't know what happened. Probably was too scared to get up. I don't know, but I remember my excuse was like, no, I just spilled a cup of water. And that, I don't, you know, like it was so long ago. I might not have wet the bed. I might have just spilled water. I don't know how it was even like exposed. Maybe I invented that whole memory. I don't even know. For all I know, my entire past is just made up. What's the first game I'm playing on my Steam Deck? Baldur's Gate 2? I don't know, Dave. Probably like Slay the Spire, something like that. Wetting the bed at Rusty's. Hey, Hitchcat. Spilled water out of my penis. Was Rusty a dog? No, it was my friend. It was his nickname, Rusty. His name was Russell. They called him Rusty. And Rusty was not a dog. Everyone called him Rusty. And that was his middle name. I don't know why they called him that. He had like, it was like George or something. And his middle name was Russell. And everyone, even his parents, called him Rusty. That's weird. Who names their kid Rusty? Who gives their kid a nickname and doesn't call him their first name? I do remember that. It was his middle name. They called him a nickname for his middle name. Weird. Rusty. Some parents are dicks. If that happened with me, like, I wouldn't even send... I feel like I wouldn't even send the kid home. I would just be like, I don't know, I guess I would. You don't want him to keep peeing in the bed all night. 5 is too young for sleepovers? I think it was, judging by my urine in my friend's bed.
Yours? But, Your Highness, your first name is Natalia.
I'm perfectly aware of my first
So
name,
anyway, there's an H on the handkerchief, and it's this
my
lady's.
handkerchiefs are always embroidered with Russian characters. In the Cyrillic alphabet, H is written as A.
Oh, really? So she was in the murdered guy's room, and she's tied to the... It was like her, niece or something. The Armstrong is somehow related to her. The dead child. I don't know, Dave. Probably Slay the Spire. What I'll probably end up doing is just picking random games out of the library, you know, and just playing them, you know, because I can just chill out on the couch and do it, you know. His name was Jack Russell. Jack Russell's Terrier. It was a dog, and I peed in a dog bed. I was just sleeping in the dog bed. It was a family of dogs.
How did your handkerchief come to be lying by the murdered man's body?
I have no idea.
Her handkerchief. So maybe her nursemaid stabbed. Maybe her nursemaid was the one who did the little stabs.
Your maid said she did not
whatever it is.
recognize this handkerchief.
Schmidt believes in loyalty as I do. I believe in loyalty to one's friends and one's family and one's cause.
Rub their nose in it.
Thank you for your time, Princess.
So she believes in loyalty enough to murder. You weren't allowed to go on sleepovers. Your parents' reasoning was you have a bed at home. Huh. Trying to remember the next sleepover I went on. I think I did sleepovers shortly after that. I don't know what happened. They called you a nickname, so you learned your true name at 5. Really? Huh. They didn't call you your actual name. I mean, it's all molecules.
I must attend to my duties, mademoiselle. Perhaps we can speak later.
This guy, like, never wants to talk to you because he's always busy, so he seems suspicious, the waiter. Just because he never wants to talk to you. The fact that he tries to keep himself in the background makes him seem more suspicious. This is, the waiter is Lucien Rivera. Lucien Rivera. This guy. Quite young. And of French origin. Just like Poirot. Pirates. Just like a pirate.
Sterling silver. 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 Sterling silver.
Go find more people to talk to. We're really getting to the core of the matter. We're basically learning anybody on this train could be the killer. Could be our killer. Could have killed.
Such a cramp. Such a cramp. Such a cramp. Such a cramp.
Sterling silver. Sterling silver.
Such a cramped.
Do
not disturb me! Someone has stolen my Black Forest cake batter, and I must make it once more!
Yeah, that was us. We stole it.
Thanks to our master chef's perseverance, the Wiener Schnitzel and Erdäpfel salad will be served as promised.
Who talks like that?
Do not disturb me!
We stole the cake batter to make a footprint. That's how we figured out Foscarelli's footprints were outside the window. Wait, so Foscarelli is kind of lying about where he was from. He's somehow tied to Ratchet's valet, who also is tied to the murder, and mafia. Apparently all the mafias are Italian in this day and age. And we found a mafia knife with blood on it. So we got that going on. See, we found this little crate, and then we found fingerprints. How if it's not someone? I'm trying to think. If it's not someone, if there's not a person we haven't met yet. Then how are we finding fingerprints of that no one on the train has? Is someone on the train faking a fingerprint? Is someone on the train fake? Can you fake a fingerprint? What would the answer be? You were too shy to go on sleepovers? You were bad at sleepovers, always wanted to go home? Yeah, going over someone else's house can just be boring, you know, before a certain age, at a certain age, I think. I think it can, yeah. Like, you know, I want to watch my shows, yeah, I can see that. I mean, my daughter is not yet 5, but she's close to it, and I don't know. Sleepovers? I don't want to be, I'd rather just have her be home with me. It's good for kids to do that kind of thing. I would say if you're like 6 years old and like late kindergarten or something, you could probably do it. Probably, if you really trust the parents. Okay, we've already talked to these two. Can we search, like, the room? Do we need to search the rooms anymore? I feel like we've already thoroughly searched the rooms. The rums. Maybe Foscarelli, like, faked his fingerprints? No more Sturley. No more Sturley. Who have we not talked to? Oh, let's go talk to Poirot. What up, Poi?
Monsieur Poirot.
How you doing? How you feeling, Poi? Had a friend in middle school who walked home the night down a busy street holding his pillow. They walked home from your house? The Rossetti Spaghetti Bowdy. Yeah. Butler did it. The butler did it is from a different thing. So she's getting Poirot all caught up. You don't remember sleepovers.
And that is everything I have discovered so far.
We progress, mademoiselle. Let us see what we can learn.
I remember having sleepovers mostly at my one friend's house. That's the only one I really remember when I was young. I had another friend. He had a pretty fun house. His parents were rich. Kind of rich. I mean, they had a huge house and like a huge yard. I'm pretty sure they were rich. And they always had like all the computers and stuff and video game stuff.
Can we use the ham radio to help the investigation?
Oh, but certainly. This is a marvelous stroke of luck.
The ham radio.
Too often the coincidences, they help the criminal. What a refreshing change to have one that will aid Poirot. I have the friend, Monsieur Louis. His son Barnabas is a boy of much energy and interests. One of these is the radio of ham, as his proud father reports in the recent correspondence. Young Barnaby can be our eyes and ears in the outside world. His letters to call are there in my valise in the letter from his father. Use the radio of ham to find out more from him about our current predicament. Oh, he is an invaluable asset, mademoiselle.
Why is he saying it like that?
Do not forget to secure his letters, or you will not have the information needed to reach young Barnaby.
Why is he saying it like the radio of ham? Why is he not just saying the ham radio? Just say ham radio. Stop saying radio of ham, Poirot. Maybe it wasn't a thing in the 80s. I don't know, but I only really remember one up to up to a certain point, one kid. Yeah, video games, Jason, yeah. I remember doing that at my one friend's. Parents wouldn't let you do sleepers till you're 10. Yeah, after a certain point, I remember going over other people's houses. Hey, Madigan, good morning. Hey, Mel. How dare I say he's French? Ooh, Poirot? How dare I say the truth? That Poirot's French? Yeah, games. Yeah, games, Dave. Games. In the McDonald triad covered, your sister knew you pissed the bed, she set fires and tortured animals. So, sounds good, as long as you're having a good time. French is like that? Okay, yeah. So it would be like radio à la cochon. Something like that. I don't know how to say it. But that's what it would be like. Like radio de cochon. Something like that. You should call it a radio of ham.
This book of Masterman's reveals more than he knows.
Love's Captive by the inestimable Mrs. Arabella Richardson. Yes. And what does it reveal to you?
Radio à cochon. Ham radio. In French. Ham radio. French translation. Jambon. 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 Transmettre par radio. Ham radio. Translate now. Radio amateur. Radio jambon.
Radio amateur.
Radio.
Radio jambon.
I mean, it's not. It's just. He just reverses it. Why doesn't he call it radio ham instead? Radio jambon. Radio of ham. Belgian. Poirot is French. Poirot is French. He's a French detective. So they can just say radio ham instead of ham radio. It doesn't have to say radio of ham. Poirot just got to swag talk.
Beneath that very proper exterior, Masterman is a hopeless romantic.
Perhaps. But I fear that this revelation would only be of embarrassment to Monsieur Masterman. It does not advance our investigation.
Okay. Alright, Foscarelli was a chauffeur.
This driving license indicates Foscarelli has been a chauffeur.
For the Armstrong?
A not unnatural profession for a man who loves the motor cars.
Okay. Schmidt's recipe box is weird.
Hildegard Schmidt's recipe box is suggestive.
You remember at dinner how she was most opinionated with the waiter while studying the menu? And the label on the box. It is interesting as well.
Wait, I don't...
My lady's recipes. Now that suggests that she is accustomed to cooking for her employers. Not a duty one attaches to the lady's maid, n'est-ce pas?
And she says she has a lot of ladies that she cooks for. So is she actually not a lady's maid? She's not a lady's Radio à la cochon be a pig radio? That's true. Jambon is the ham. Yeah. Heroes Belgian, Fladarian? I don't know. I don't know. Seems French to me, I don't know.
Mary Debenham's handkerchief does not match the one found next door.
No, I don't know.
Despite the middle name of Hermione beginning with an H, I did not think that the expensive handkerchief would belong to her. No, the handkerchief of Mademoiselle Debenham is precisely the type one might expect to find in the luggage of a young English woman of her class.
Yeah, we already know.
The handkerchief with the H belongs to the princess.
I confess I should have remembered that in the Cyrillic alphabet, H is written as N. And she has a strong motive to want Ratchet dead. But are we meant to believe that this elderly woman prances about in the scarlet silk kimono? Or could strike with such ferocity?
No, but maybe she did the little stabbies. There were big stabbies and little stabbies on the dead body. So someone was doing little stabbies with a different hand. There were left hand big stabbies and right hand little stabbies.
The postcard I found in Greta Olsen's suitcase tells a story.
This card, it speaks to Poirot in many ways. Coney Island is, I think, on the Long Island of New York in America. A country she claims not to have visited.
The postcard.
Mademoiselle Olsen does not send the postcard to Sweden as she perhaps intended,
the Swedish
but
lady
saves it as a keepsake for herself. It is not a happy memory, this. A last brief moment in the sun for a family soon to be swept away by the storm.
I don't get that. Olsen. Olsen is the orphanage missionary from Turkey, and she's Swedish. Does she have any ties to the Armstrong case? I can't remember. Let's see. Foscarelli was the Armstrong chauffeur.
Foscarelli was the Armstrong chauffeur.
It was a deduction most simple.
But why are there so many people tied to the Armstrongs? Why is he not, like, weirded out by that? Hey, Nomus. When's the lazy Belgian gonna get this? Who? Who's Belgian? The nursemaid, Suzanne, who threw herself to the death, was French.
The nursemaid, Suzanne, who threw herself to her death, was French.
Wait, to know her full name might be instructive.
Oh, wait, if she was French, Pierre Michel is French, the attendant who's suspicious. So is that his mother, sister, something like that? And he's getting revenge for her? Maybe that's what the murder is?
Schmidt is accustomed to cooking for her employers, as we suspected.
And her mistake in how long she has been in the employ of the princess is remarkable. A difference 1/3 less than her mistress claims. 10 years. We
10
must look
years.
deeper into this.
Not
what
10
course
years.
do you suggest?
Why are so many people suspicious? I'll radio Barnaby. I'll ask the Countess the name of the Armstrong cook. Oh, so the old lady could be the Armstrong cook, worked for the Armstrongs, and then working for her? Because she's tied to the Armstrongs, she's had her work for her. Then the princess wants to cover up for her, but she's not suspicious.
I will ask the Countess the name of the Armstrong cook.
The Countess has lied to us most shamelessly already, I'm afraid, mademoiselle. No, I think young Barnaby could better serve us here.
Oh, I said the wrong thing, because I wanted to say all the things. And I tend to say the wrong thing first, and then I say the right thing. But in this game, it doesn't work like that. We're losing points. King of
I'm
APOC.
not putting my lips on that.
Thank you for the hosts, King of APOC. How you doing? Happy Sunday. And thank you for the sub, King. Thank you. How you doing? Yeah, he's got full suit and bed. I mean, that's all he has. That's probably all he brought to wear. So, and it's cold. So he probably just wants to wear something, you know. And he wants to let other people do the work. Take a little break. Hey, Nine Skull. Hey, Trey Cellar. Well, we're gonna solve this case today, Trey Solar. I bet Jessica Fletcher never solved the case in one day either. Masterman was Colonel Armstrong's valet.
Masterman was Colonel Armstrong's valet.
And he's Batman during the war.
His what? Oh, Batman. Okay. The Armstrong nurse was named Nude. The Armstrong nurse was who the diplomat was talking about.
The Armstrong nurse was named New Daughter.
An odd name, that. What nationality?
Slavic or Scandinavian?
Swedish?
Well, perhaps. I think that the Countess has the most fanciful mind and is quite adept at the word games. She is playing them now. Noi Daughter sounds, I think, only by coincidence, vaguely Scandinavian. Olsen is, of course, authentic Scandinavian.
New Daughter. New Daughter. Olsen. Old Son.
It is not yet fact, but it is worth pursuing.
Alright, so Olsen could be the nursemaid of the, hey Tigger, hey Cambrian. Nursemaid of the, hope the sun comes out today. Me too. I like the sun. I mean, technically the sun isn't coming out. It's always stays in the same place.
The Countess recognized no one on the train.
Including Madame la Princesse? Her sister's godmother? Monsieur McQueen she may also have seen, but he has grown much, of course, and the appearance changes. But a woman of the advanced years of the princess does not change so much, I think. No, I find this lack of recognition the most damning point against the Countess in all of her evasions and lies.
Really?
So you see now why the Countess's failure to recognize anyone grows beyond suspicious.
Perhaps she is nearsighted.
Countess.
If she were the second murderer in Ratchet's room last night, that might explain why she didn't notice he was already dead.
You know, at times you remind me so of my good friend Hastings.
Yeah, the Countess is even more suspicious. She could be the second murderer. There's 2 stabbers. There could also be a poisoner, though, too. 3 people trying to murder this guy in the same time, the same place. They're having a murder party. What if everyone is killed? What if everyone killed this guy? Because they're all tied to the child he killed. Hey, Richard, this is Mr. Hercule Poirot. This is him. Maybe you're the murderer, Mel. Well, yeah, anyway. The sun doesn't come out, King. It's always in the same place. You just... I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean. I think I know what you mean. Do I have a chaise lounge? I don't even know what that is. I don't think I have one. I don't have a lot of furniture. I need to buy furniture. But, you know.
Helena Gilbert's governess was an old hag named Freebody.
Helena Gilbert?
What an unfortunate name for an old hag is Freebody. It is more apt a name for the generation of flippers.
Flappers. The fast young women were called flappers in America. Thank goodness skirts are finally lengthening again.
As you say. I wonder if during your time at university in England you had occasion to patronize the clothing shops for the fashionable woman in London.
No, Monsieur Poirot, not on a student's budget.
What is this?
There is such a shop near my own tailor called Debenham and Freebody. And the description the Countess gives to you is as far from the attractive young woman Mary Debenham as one could hope to get. Merci, mademoiselle. Unfortunately, the report, it is not yet complete. We are now armed with much more additional knowledge than before. Continue the investigation.
Okay. That's... that just basically means...
The letter.
Debenham
now
is
I'd better
suspicious
put
too.
Monsieur Poirot's clothes back exactly as I found them.
A letter to Poirot? About the...
I wouldn't dare.
Okay. What's this new letter? The... letter from Poirot's friend. Okay, this is just about the ham radio. We're going to do ham radio. Actually, the sun's always moving. It orbits our galaxy and moves slowly in its CNY axis to the gravitational interaction with all the planets. Oh. Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense. It wouldn't, nothing's really staying still. Sorry, King, I was wrong. The sun is moving. Sorry. 9 to 12 stabs. Pick up my apartment. No, I wish this is what it looked like. No, I'm just unorganized. I wish it had this much open space without crap in it. I have crap. I just... Basically, the way my apartment looks is, I have crap, and it's pushed into corners, and then I slowly am, like, organizing it a little bit at a time. But then I get more crap, and then I put crap into, like, another corner. And then and the crap has overtaken my organizational abilities. Have I seen this movie? No, but I'm doing okay. We're doing okay. We're gonna get organized. We're gonna get it organized. I just got some new shelves. We're gonna get some new shelves. We're gonna build some new shelves. I wish it looked like this. Lots of open space with no crap in it. No, it doesn't look like that. It doesn't look like that at all. There's crap. I have stuff. Things. I have things here. Oh, last night I almost started a fire. And it was a freak accident. Last night... I do not know when it happened, but I have my air fryer I've been talking about. My kitchen is small. It's stupid. The kitchen is so small for the size of the apartment. It's stupid. But so I put my air fryer on my oven, and I normally will take it down and just put it on the floor if I'm not using it, but I didn't. I left it on top of my stove, and the stove has dials that facing this way. You turn them. You gotta turn them to turn on the stove. So I guess I must have pushed my air fryer into a dial. And it slightly happened to turn the dial that my air fryer was sitting, for the burner my air fryer was sitting on. And I don't know when it happened. I don't know if it was on low or high. But if you just turn it slightly to the right, it turns it on high. I actually had an issue where the dials were on when I first moved in. Very, very low for weeks. And I didn't even know it, apparently. But it's weird. It's a weird stove. But I must have accidentally pushed it and it turned the dial. And then I was sitting here last night after I'd gone to the gym and I was smelling something and I was and I thought I just smelled like BO. I was that's weird. I smell like BO. I just took a shower. Why do I smell? I don't know. But then it just started to get worse and I was that's a fire. That smells like a fire. So I was is that my computer burning? I had no idea what it was. And then I looked out of my stove and I was cooking my air fryer, and it was burning the plastic off the bottom of my air fryer. I was boiling up some air fryer. It was just like a freak accident. I was cooking air fryer because the burner had turned on just by like kind of, I don't even know, like I don't know how it happened, because you really have to like push it in. I don't know what happened. I don't know how it got turned on, but I think it was slowly burning it, and so I just threw water on it, you know, and put out the fire, and it didn't really even like stick to my stove. I basically got it cleaned up. I have 2 big windows and a door. I opened that all up. So I luckily, it was okay. I got it all aired out and everything, and I cleaned it up. But, like a weird freak accident, you know? It was a weird freak accident. It was just burning. It wasn't really a fire, and it was on the stove top, you know, so it was, you know, okay. It was okay. But I just won't put anything on the stove anymore. And I don't think I can use this anymore. I probably can't use this anymore. This is the bottom of it. That's the bottom of it. It stinks. Still stinks. I probably shouldn't use this anymore. So I need to get a new air fryer. Sounds like a safety hazard. It's not the best. I would say it's not the best, but I don't think it's anything that weird compared to the way other stoves are. I don't think it's anything that weird. But it was, I don't know how it got, it's very strange. Yo, Trey, thank you for the sub. Thanks for the Prime sub. I don't know how it got turned. It's very strange. It's very strange. Buy an extra workspace. I mean, I already did, and that's what I have my toaster oven on. There's really no room for another, like, I could maybe buy another little thing, but it's fine. I've kind of figured it out. Story of burning an electric kettle on the stove. Yeah, I'm glad thank you. Yeah, I'm glad we didn't have a fire too. And luckily it was just plastic, so you can just throw water on it and kind of cool it all down. Don't store items, but like I wasn't storing it, you know, like that's where I cook with it, you know. Is there a safety button? Well, you have to like push it in and turn it, so that's what's so weird about it. Anyway, what does this note say? Something about investigation. Blah, 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 South America. As you work here in Turkey, he's completely come back to England, blah, blah, blah. The son, Barnabas, 2N2THR. He has call letters 2N2THR. That's what we need out of this. Like, to push something, I would have to, like, maybe I, like, bumped it. I bumped it, but I don't know. It's weird. I think I was sabotaged. I think one of my neighbors came in here and sabotaged me because they don't like me. That's what I think it is. It wasn't my negligence. I think I was sabotaged. I mean, I probably could use it. You probably could use it, but I don't think I'm going to. I'll just get a new one. You probably could use it to, like, just the bottom burnt off, and that's, like, where the heat is. But I think it probably doesn't hurt to not use it. You want your fryer to hit 145 degrees internal temperature. Oh, but we have to power it up. Maybe can we power it up now? Oh! That was scary. Someone's outside. Someone is outside. Someone with a brown coat just walked by outside. You dropped your toaster, it nearly electrocuted when you tried to use it. Oh yeah, with those heating elements, they can cause issues. They're real sensitive. Out of habit that I turned on the stove? No, like the air fryer was blocked. Like here's the dials. The air fryer's like this high. It got pushed it somehow got... All I can think is that it got pushed into it somehow, but I feel like I would have noticed that. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know how it happened. It's very strange.
There's no power.
It's very, very, very strange. This wire. We need to get like a battery, something that can power this thing. Like I don't know how we would do it. I haven't seen any batteries, anything like that. We need something that can power this radio. Oh, Foscarelli might have been the one. Oh, this was in. Oh, this was what was inside the old lady. Probably not the old lady. Could have been someone that doesn't like that I talk. You know, that I talk in here, or a kitchen assassin. Hey, Ave. Thank you, Ave. That's good sabotage. Yeah. Yeah. I think because I was only saved because I have big windows. Cleared out that smoke. Got it fast enough. And what's the deal with this? There's a lot of suspicious things going on, but who is outside? Yeah, so Foscarelli's fingerprints were on the crate of this thing. So Foscarelli took...
I enjoy winter, but only when I can look out at it from the comfort of a room with a...
So Foscarelli sabotaged the ham radio too. So Foscarelli's really suspicious. Because his fingerprints were on the crate of this, and the snowshoes, and the murder window. How could Foscarelli not be involved? His fingerprints all over. All over. Everything. Let's go outside. What the heck's going on out here? Yeah, I don't...
Don't bother me! I'm doing my makeup.
Let go of me.
Oh.
Take your hands off me.
We're being kidnapped.
Put me down. Put me down.
We about to be killed?
You will never get away with this.
What? Oh, she was gonna throw us off, but he was gonna throw us off, but he didn't. Yeah, the bottom of it, like, if the heat actually mattered, I mean, it wouldn't have been built out of something that could melt. What? Okay, so she threw us in there and locking us in, but not killing us? It's a man. It seems to be a man. Yeah. Yeah, like this is the part that heats up. Like this is the heat is in here. Like see, like that's the metal of the bottom of the inside. That's right here. So this part gets hot. I assume it's like heat resistant up to a certain point, you know? It's probably not supposed to be sitting on a stovetop, which I don't think it was on high. I think it was on low. If it had turned to the right, it would have been high. If it turned to the left, it would have been low. That's not the... Gobik, thanks for the Prime sub for a year. Thanks, Gobik. Thank you very much. Ah, so this is what they were talking about with, like, the bar and the window.
An antique stove.
She doesn't say anything about the kidnapping.
An antique stove. I haven't seen one of these in years.
We've already been here to this cabin. So we must be getting close to the murderer. I mean, she still says the thing, I got kidnapped.
An antique stove.
Oh, kidnapped, but at least here is an antique stove. So I think we have to reach around to the lock and knock it off. So someone doesn't want us investigating. An antique stove. Hey Indian Curry, hello. Okay, he walks like a Scandinavian. It seemed like a man, but it could have been a woman. Let's see.
It is far out of your reach, mademoiselle.
Alright, it must be the bar. Wait, oh, I don't have any items. They took all my items. Wait. Wait, could I be dead-ended because I took this bar? Oh no. Why'd the sound waves get weird? Magic Eel, thanks for the 500 bits. Look behind you, okay. Stove isn't on. An antique stove. Wait, so we already... there was a bar here that we took off. Oh, no, because we had to use that to get in. Okay, no. Because we had to use that to get in there. We have no items. An antique stove. Maybe something with this bed. Underneath the bed. Yeah, parasol?
Princess Dragomirov's parasol!
Why would that be here? Why would Princess Dragon... well, they might have stolen it to keep the snow out of their hair. It's locked. Hey, Cor the Barbarian. An antique stove. What a great stove. See, she...
An antique stove. I haven't seen one of these in years.
See, doesn't she talks like she's English, not French? Isn't that strange? Or no, has that been explained? That's probably been explained, and I just keep forgetting the explanation. There we go. Princess Dragomov's parasol happens to be here. Somebody took it and came out here. And they took my items, but we're good. Luckily, there's a parasol in here. Hey, Ash, thanks for the gift sub. Thank you. And you melt your way out with the stove, and then we need to put all my items in this box.
The most generous of kidnappers. Are all your belongings restored to you?
They put all of our items in this box right outside the cabin. Maybe they were going to come get us later, because they could have...
The snow. It is much too deep to cross without the snowshoes.
And they left the snowshoes here, right? No. We have the... oh, yeah, they did. They left us the snowshoes, too. Maybe they didn't want us to die, or... maybe they just needed to get us out of the train for a little while. Because he could have thrown us off the cliff. Zut alors, an antique stove. Nighty-night time. Oh, look at this blizzard. It looked like he was going to throw us off the cliff, but then he didn't. We've already searched around out here. I wonder if there's anything else to look for now, though. Could be something else out here now. An antique stove. She probably could have just used her hands. Yeah, she probably could have just climbed out the window. Okay, I guess we just go back to the train. So someone tried to get us out of put us out of commission. Okay, but we are too tough. We're too tough. But I like how she doesn't say anything about it at all. So we need to figure out where they put the whatever powers the radio.
There's no power.
Got to provide this with electricity. We have, what could provide it with electricity? We have a wire. We have this weird copper bracelet. That could be power. That could be power. What else could be power? But we need a source of the power. We need a source of power. We definitely need a source of power. So let's go look around for a source of power. What could be a source of power? You saw the fluffy marshmallows? Oh yeah, we would have gotten thrown off into a pile of fluffy marshmallows. Jason redeems snack time. Cool. Madigan, thanks for the all McCool. Thank you. Oh, McCool. Need a jambon? Oh, we need a ham. Power. That's why it's called a radio of ham. I'm gonna go into... I mean, he wouldn't be keeping it in here, but we could go into Foscarelli's room. I don't think he's keeping the battery in here. It's a battery, right? What kind of battery? 1930. Do they have batteries in 1930s?
Nothing else. I've already...
Nothing up here. Nothing under there. Okay. Where's this item? It could be out in the winter.
Nothing to find.
Could be in one of these I need to make sure we checked all the bathrooms. I think we did at this point, because we've been through these cabins a million times. Pretty sure we have checked all the bathrooms.
Nothing of interest.
Yeah, I think we have checked all these. Do I want to watch full episodes of Avatar Airbender on stream? Yeah, because I've never seen it. Yeah, I would, Ben. I definitely would. Oh, my cool. Hey Guybrush, did I just start this game? No, we played it for the half of the day yesterday. Probably more than half, 3/4 of the day yesterday. Yeah, from what I know, you're allowed to watch like Avatar Airbender on stream and stuff now on Twitch. You're just allowed to watch TV, whatever TV you want. From what I know.
Keep your eye on your step. This is what they say in America.
So here we go.
Watch.
Here we go, Avatar The Last Airbender. Avatar, I've never seen this show. Let's watch an episode of Avatar The Last Airbender. Let's see. Let's watch an episode of Avatar The Last Airbender. Here we go. You guys ready? We're going to do it because lots of people have been doing it on Twitch. Here we go. Ready? You ready? Here we go. Did I remove Retrobrag? I don't think so. I got you guys. I got all you guys. You guys got. That's the first time I've ever rickrolled someone. I rickrolled dozens of people. Alright. Alright. Indiana Jason Regime, try a snack. It's try a snack. Snack time. The snack of the day is... caramel sunflower seeds. Caramel sunflower seeds. Look at that caramel flowing around those seeds. Okay, let's try them out. Noodles sent us these snacks, so check out Noodles' channel. She streams as well. Alright, let's try caramel sunflower seeds. Hard to open. Oh, Foscarelli. His name's Foscarelli. Look at the back of this. Look at the back of this. Look at this. You're supposed to eat them while you're watching TV, while you're on a train with your boyfriend or girlfriend, or while you're just sitting at a table with a bunch of your idiot little friends. You can eat them anywhere. Wait, how do you eat these? Wait. It's like a real seed. Are you supposed to eat the whole thing? No, you're not. You're not. No, I honestly forgot. You're supposed to like, well, how do you eat these? You're just supposed to like de-shell it. Yeah, right. Okay, let's try that again. I just chewed the whole seed. It hurt my mouth a little bit. Spit the seed out. I hate the experience of sunflower seeds. I forgot. I used to do this in high school. Yeah, I remember now. Yeah, I mean, it tastes like caramel, yeah. Let's do another one. I chewed the whole shell. Thank you for the hype train. Yeah. No, I did. I just forgot. I don't know. I hate the experience of sunflower seeds. They're for bored kids. Yeah, they're an NYC kid staple. Sunflower seeds are for bored kids. They're not for adults. You should just eat caramel, or just like. There's no point. This has no point. It's cool though. Caramel sunflower seeds. I'll give it a 5 out of 10 because it just has no point. You know, just eat caramel. Or I don't want to de-shell a seed in my mouth. I'm not a bird. You know, I'm not a bird. Okay. I have people that can do that for me. I'll give it a 5 out of 10. It does taste like caramel. Caramel sunflower seeds. And don't chew them. Don't chew those up. Send them your way, or I'll send them to you. But they do have a good caramel flavor if you're into that. Alright, we have another redeem. We have another redeem here. A redeem of Tony Soprano recommends an anime. Let me see if Tony's on Skype. Let me see if Tony's on Skype. Let's see. Tony, you there? Okay. Still have pieces of the seed stuck in my mouth. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here, Christopher. Roku Deneshi Majutsu Koshi to Akashic Records. Akashic Records, a bastard magic instructor. Alzano Empire is home to one of the most distinguished magic schools in the world, the Alzano Imperial Magic Academy. He ambitious young students undergo training to become the competent magicians. Sistine Feeble, stern noble girl, and her bright-eyed best friend, Mumira Tingle, attend the academy, attended to cultivate their magical skills. However, their world is thrown for a loop when the favorite teacher suddenly retires and the enigmatic Glenn Radars replaces him. His lazy and indifferent attitude toward life and magic quickly puts him at odds with the class. Much more nefarious forces hidden within the Empire's walls start to become active, and Sistine, Rumen, and Glenn find themselves caught up in their schemes. Thanks, Tony. Let's try to find an image of that. What is it? Akashic Records of a Bastard Magic Instructor? I'll try to find an image of that so we can show people. This doesn't look good. This looks weird. This looks a little weird. I don't know, the outfits are a little weird. Okay. I don't even want to show it. It's alright. I don't know, it looks a little weird. Why are they dressed like that? Why are the children dressed like that? I don't know. Tony's into some weird stuff. I don't get why do the outfits have to be like this? I just find that to be strange. I just find that to be very strange. It just creeps me out.
You should take care.
Their nature's fidget spinners, exactly. Sunflower seeds with shells are for bored kids. Entropy, I'm enjoying the game, yeah. Hey, Thumbtack. Hey, Noodle. Feel like a bird? I can't believe I chewed it. I just had forgotten. Okay, I'm old. I'm old and tired, okay? I am old and tired. Alright, I can't remember to do all these things. Sunflower seeds are not for old, tired men like me. Okay? I'm enjoying the game. Hey, Plastic Canvas. It's a lot of work for a tiny little seed, bird seed, exactly. I need to buy my seeds de-shelled at this point in my life. I don't have time for the shell. Sopranos didn't age well, Dave? Why is that? Why would you say that? But it was fun? Okay, let's watch Avatar: The Last Airbender again. Just kidding. I can't believe I rickrolled all you guys. You guys are never gonna live that down. You're always gonna remember for the rest of your life when you got rickrolled.
You'll not get another word out of me.
By an old man.
I can't say I'm
on his video game stream. You're never gonna live it down. Somebody's gonna ask you one day, have you ever been rickrolled? And you're gonna have to say, yeah, I did. By some old guy playing a computer game from 2006, and he kept saying the guy was French and was Belgian, and then he rickrolled us. Hey, dumb butt. Hey, mean mug. And then he rickrolled us. That's what you're gonna have to say. You're never gonna live it down. Never gonna give you up. Never gonna be able to say you didn't get rickrolled. The battery could be... Where would we find the battery? It could be outside. It could be in the security room. Maybe they threw it in there. Get some de-shelled honey roasted pistachios. I like pistachios when they're de-shelled. I like most nuts or seeds when they're de-shelled. Or legumes, whatever. Okay, whatever. And I like cashews. I like cashews a lot. I like plain, roasted, unsalted cashews. Guinea Prince redeem looking at your the Italian politics and ideals. Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, when did Sopranos come out? That was like the 90s, right? Late 90s? No? 2000... It started in the late 90s and went to 2007, so early 2000s. Yeah. Okay. Maybe it's back here. Like, this is the crate.
This crate look.
Foscarelli's hand was
Food for. It looks
Foscarelli
like these goods. It looks.
Was messed with. He also messed with the snowshoe crate. He also messed with the snowshoe crate. Then he also had. Foscarelli is real suspicious. Take it back, Poirot's French. I know. I'm sorry. I was just kidding about the. I was just making a joke about the Belgian thing. Their outfits are missing the middle. Huh.
This seems to be a.
I don't get it. We have to unlock this again. We already unlocked it before. Where's the key? Oh, did they take the key? Did he take the key? Baggage car. Oh, the person who threw me. Oh, the person who kidnapped me took the key to this back room so they could. Oh, I wonder if that was the whole point. So they could hide in this room again. Huh. Yeah, they took my key that I had to that security room. Luckily, I already got the letter out of there from the safe, but they're in there again. They're in there again.
There seems to be a security door.
Saw the remake of this movie, Entropy? Well, they redo the story for these games. It's not the same story as the movie or the book. Or the Broadway play. Or the puppet show. Or the off-Broadway play. Or the slam poetry version.
Such a cramped kitchen.
Sights to a master.
Where could we get the thing to power the ham radio? Where's Retrobrag? I don't know. I must have taken it away. I didn't think I took away Retrobrag. But I guess I must have if it's not there. I took away Horoscope, because Horoscope, I think, ran its course.
Ah, dear young miss, I would like to say that...
But Retrobrag is still there.
Despite all the calamity, I have enjoyed sharing my compartment.
Thank you, Greta. But I'm afraid I must ask you some more questions.
Oh, we didn't talk to her?
I am thinking you must... Our gracious Father, who art in heaven, guides your hand, I think.
I found a postcard in your suitcase.
About Coney
My
Island.
one keepsake from that time. It is a silly thing, but I hold it dear.
They're like roasted chestnuts. Never had them. Macadamia. Book. Broadway show. You miss going to Broadway shows?
Coney Island is in America.
Yeah, of course. It is on the Long Island of New York, in the country of America. I lied to you when I said I had never been there. May God forgive me.
Another liar. Another liar. I don't think I've ever been to a Broadway show. When I was real young, I went to Radio City Music Hall. And I saw the Nutcracker, I think. Did they ever have the Nutcracker at Radio City Music Hall? Slam poetry. Yeah, it's still there. Is this an Agatha Christie story? Death on the Nile. Yeah. Wait, is this a new... Oh, there's a new Death of the Nile movie? From 2021. Yeah, this has Poirot. Death of the... Wait, there's a new Poirot? Yeah, here he is. Look, I guess this is the new Poirot. Well, that's cool. So there's a new Agatha Christie movie. This must be the new Poirot. Wow, look at that mustache. That's too big. That's way too big. That's like wider than your face. Your mustache can't be wider than your face. That's too big of a mustache if it's wider than your face. Yeah, what's up with that mustache, man? Like, it's not human. It's not human. It's not human. Ariana Grande came to Coney Island to ride the Cyclone. Huh. So there's a new Agatha Christie mover. Alright, so another liar.
On the back of the postcard, you write that Helena rode on the roller coaster.
Helena
Not my Poirot.
Mrs. Armstrong's young sister, only 10 years of age, but so brave. I am not so brave.
What? You were Daisy Armstrong's nurse, were you not?
it is true. It is true. She was an angel, a sweet, trusting angel. She knew nothing but kindness and love. And she was took away by that wicked, wicked man.
So she has motive for the murder.
Poor mother, and the other little one who never lived at all. I was to be that little child's nurse, too. I ought to have told you, but I was afraid. I did so rejoice that that evil man was dead, that he could not anymore kill the little children.
So she had motive, too. And look, this lamp is like a skate ramp. Ready? Shoot! 360. Down the ramp. That's it?
Oh, please.
So she has motive for the murder. But I think it's the waiter.
I beg your pardon.
The waiter's the murderer. Not my Poirot. Yeah, let's get it trending. Let's get it trending that Poirot is French. Hashtag Poirot is French. Poirot's the director and he gave himself a bad mustache. Yeah, you're supposed to have the little tiny one, right? Maybe that big style of mustache was popular at the time. Maybe it's more historically accurate. I don't know. Alright, do we have to talk to anybody? I think we're done talking to people. If we've already talked to them, I think we have to do what we hoped we didn't, and that's go through every single room again. And try to see if anybody is in here. Okay. And then also go through every bathroom. Or we just have to look it up.
Nothing to find.
Okay, they might have thrown something in one of these little side rooms. Okay, we're gonna have to go through every room again. Rockettes were Radio Hall? Okay, so I think it was the Rockettes that I saw then. But I think I did also see the Nutcracker at something else. Maybe it was a different time. I don't remember. I don't remember things. Too old to have memories that are real.
The weather looks
threatening. Most of my memories are not real at this point. You get to a certain point in your life.
I enjoy.
You don't know if your memories are true or not. So you basically just feel like you're lying every time you talk. It's Klaus's room. Klaus.
I've already.
Klaus. Poirot is French. Thank you, Galaxy Ghoul. Thank you for getting it trending. Poirot. Poirot is French. Alright? He's speaking French, so he must be French. Okay, he's not Belgian. He's French.
Nothing else.
He's French. We have to figure out where to get the power source. What would it be if it's not a battery? A Sultan battery. Can we make our own battery out of potatoes? Is that what we're gonna do? Gonna make a battery out of potatoes and vodka. Alright, take it easy, Litu. I'm not gonna get DMCA'd, I don't think. I'm not gonna get DMCA'd. Well, I can't find the power source. Maybe I'm just doing something wrong. Hold on. Do I just have to combine things in a certain way? It makes it look like the wire is just cut. Wouldn't it all... We need electricity, right? We need a plug. We have the wire. We have the copper bracelet. Nothing here is electricity. None of this is electricity. None. Nothing. None of this. None. Nothing. He's Belgiumian. Belgiumanian. He's Jumanjian. Okay, I mean, maybe up here. Oh, I wonder if it's something outside. It could be like a pixel hunt outside. It could be a pixel hunt that something else in the snow. It could be. It could be, it could be, it could be.
The woods. The woods. The woods. The woods. The woods. The woods.
Peter Dinklage, Cyrano, de Bergerac. I did not see that. Something with this... What's this statue have to do with anything, too? It must be conducive for something. Eh? Conducive? Wait, are you saying the statue's, like, generates electricity?
This doesn't...
Wait. Is that what you're saying? Conducive? Conducive? This must be conducive for something. Wait, is the statue? Conducts electricity. Hold on. Poirot isn't French, he's Belgian. He's Belgian. He speaks a lot of French. How can Belgian exist if our eyes don't exist? How can anything exist? It's all just molecules. You can say whatever you want. Nothing is true. Nothing's false. It's all just ideas in the world of the mind. Batteries are stored in bags of flour. Yeah, we learned that from And Then There Were None. Okay, hold on. And this is also... It's quite ductile. What the heck? What does ductile mean? Alright, am I supposed to do... Is it the statue?
I'm on the right track, but I think I need to do something else first.
Okay. Okay. The statue is involved with the electricity. And I don't just combine it... Do I combine it with the bracelet? What does ductile mean?
I can't...
You don't just combine it with the wire. Maybe I take it apart?
It appears...
No. What else would I combine with this to make electricity? Maybe do I need to get something else? Boy, the pipe cleaners? I don't know. He's Belgian. He's Belgian.
Those don't work.
He's Belgian. He's Belgian. Read comics from Belgium? Yeah, but they could be lying to you. How about this locket? They could be lying to you about where they come from. And where they go. And where they come from. Menu. Okay, okay, so there's another... I'm missing something. She said she's missing something. That's conductive of electricity. Do we have to, like, charge it up? Am I rubbing it on, maybe static electricity? Maybe we have to rub it against a coat? Let's rub it against a coat. Get some static electricity generated. Let's rub it against this coat a lot. I don't know. Hey, TJ, hope you're having a pleasant Sunday. I'm having a pheasant Sunday, actually. We're having a pheasant Sunday. We'll be cooking up a pheasant later. It's a pleasant pheasant. From the brand Pleasant Pheasants. Yeah, it's gonna be really tasty. Okay. Oh, I have to go check these other cabins first. The Kalekosh. Kalekosh. The woods. The woods. The woods. Hey, yabba ya. Hey, yabba ya. Hey, yabba ya. Alright, we already went to here. We're just gonna look through everything. Look through and just see what we see. I mean, there's electricity here from these lamps. Oh, wait, hold on. The other side of the room. Wait, there's electricity in the room. Right? Hold on. Not the salon car. The Athens Paradise Coach. Hold on. Duck tiles. Woo. Tiles with ducks on them. Every day they're out there. Cotton Eye who? Hey, Abby. Wait. The stupid lamp. Hold on. Turn this way. There's electricity right here.
I enjoy wind. The weather looks quite...
Hold on. There's electricity right here. It doesn't let me look that way, though.
There's no power. There's no power.
It doesn't let me look that way. But, I mean, there's electricity.
I'm on the right.
There's hookups in the room. There's hookups right in this room. How else do you have this? There's hookups right here. But it doesn't let me zoom in there.
I wouldn't want...
It's just this eyeball is just the weather. And it just makes me look here.
There's no power.
I do want to play The Last Express. Yeah, Trace. I've been meaning to play that for the past 15 years or so. Or longer.
There's no
Hey, catch a big fish.
There's no power.
Okay.
I'm on the...
Okay, maybe we need to do the wire first. No, the wire doesn't work. This wire has nothing to do with anything. This bracelet is ductile. It says I'm on the right track, but I need to do something else first. What? What do I need to do first? What do we need to do? What do I need to do? What? Alright, fine, I'll go look around some more. Let's go to the Kalekosh. Kalekosh. Anything in here? Anything under here? Anything under the seat?
The door is...
Smell chair. Smell chair. What about this weird, like, thing on the wall? Okay, that's nothing. The door's locked to the bathroom? What if someone has to go?
Don't do that.
Catch a big fish. Thank you for the sub. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I won't find.
Congratulations. You have just earned 5% off at your local. See, that is not electricity. This is not electricity. Congratulations.
I've already.
Thank you very much for the sub. And enjoy your 5% off. You're a pop star, Abby? Really? Pop star?
I won't find nothing else to.
Okay. Thrilling. 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 Thrilling for all involved.
I've already. Nothing else.
Hey, Madigan. Power of voodoo. How do you do? How do you do? Voodoo. Goblet of Arden. 5% off at your local. Oh, you're gonna get 5% off at your local.
Nothing else.
I always wanted 5% off at my local. Never got up to 5. Got 4 once. Never got 5.
I've already. HMK.
That's the thing we didn't find before. Locking
no need to.
Her real name, the Countess's
Nothing
real
else.
name. We didn't actually find that. I wonder if that was the dead end thing that was mentioned. Because if you don't find that clue.
I won't find nothing else.
Okay. Well, we're gonna have to look it up because we are finding Jack and how you say shit. We're finding Jack shit here. You can zoom in on here just because there was a bunch of items that we already got from here. But as far as what we're finding,
better to let
Jack
nothing else.
And
I won't find
shit. We're finding Jack shit right now. Oh, talk to I can't turn on the radio, Poirot.
Ah, your turn.
Oh, do we have more to report? Your local shop. I didn't say shop, just at your local. That one was created by the English to piss off the French. Belgium was just created to piss off the French. Piss off. All right, just
and that is
speed
everything
it up.
I've discovered so far.
We progress, mademoiselle. Let us see what we can learn.
So this would just be about Olsen.
Greta Olsen was Daisy Armstrong's nurse.
This may explain the zeal with which she cares for her young charges at her mission, and why she never had any children of her own. Merci, mademoiselle. We are
She said
now
the report's not complete. I have to keep searching. But there's electricity in the room. There's no batteries in this time. There's no batteries. There's no batteries. Batteries didn't exist.
Nothing else.
What? I didn't.
The notorious scarlet kimono in your bag, mademoiselle.
What?
Well, of all the nerve.
They planted the Starlit Kimono in my bag.
I don't need it.
What a better... So maybe when we were taken out, the evidence was planted in our bag.
I don't need...
So we couldn't find it where it was really hidden. And they locked the security room so they could hide in there. So we just need to break down the security room door. Why are we not doing that? Because we are a student of crime and we want to solve the crime the right way? I wouldn't be surprised, putting the artificial limits on ourselves.
Nothing else. I've already...
The scarlet kimono of the person who was in the room. Scarlet kimono. Found in my suitcase of all places. It was planted. I'm not guilty. We found Jack's sheet. Yes. Clinker, we found it. If you've been looking for it. That's where it was. Or I think we're going to have to look up. Unfortunately, I think we're going to have to look up
I've already...
because I can't figure out how to do the electricity. Well, we got to go into the front of the train, the front of the train, the front of the train. We got to go to the front of the train. Front of the train, and then we're going to have to look up it. Look it up.
Nothing to...
All right, we checked all the rooms. And I think we found any new evidence that was in the rooms. Now we have to go to the front of the train. I mean, there's nothing like battery or electricity. So let's go here. And let's go outside. We gotta check the front of the train and then that's it. That's the last idea. Something might be up there. The statue could be conductive of electricity. We need to attach it to something that's generating electricity though. You need to attach it to something that's generating electricity. Way, you know? Way.
The restaurant car. The restaurant car.
We need to attach it to something, and then we're good to go.
All these doors.
But it's not letting us. Can we look at the...
Even after a...
The rescue train's already arrived, though. Why are we not seeing it?
Even after a...
This game has some weird bugs.
Even after...
Because the rescue train already arrived. Maybe they're saying it's on the other side. It's still trying to melt its way through to us. And then that train has to go backwards? All the way back? Industrial batteries. Alright, this guy.
I have nothing more to say to him.
Okay, so we don't talk to this guy.
I don't need it.
We don't need any more coal. We can't smell his chair. I'm not sure. Gotta look it up. Murder on the Orient Express walkthrough. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Alright, let's see. The padlocked door. Find Klaus the oil and vinegar. Passport, fingerprint, passport, fingerprint, passport. Got all the passports and fingerprints. Security room. We did the security room stuff. Take Ratchet's confession. We did that. See the makeshift bed. Get all the fingerprints. We got all the fingerprints. Check the footprint cast. We did that. Oh, we're getting close. We are close to the end, it looks like. Alright. Okay, part 3. Poirot sits back and thinks. Talk to a Queen Arbuthnot, Foscarelli, Hubbard, Hardman, and Debenham. She's not in the mood. Okay. Go to the restaurant car. Talk to the doctor, the count and the countess, the masterman, Princess, Greta, Schmidt. Greta. Talk to Greta. Lucien is busy again. The waiter, who I think is suspicious. Klaus. We talked to Klaus. Go to your room. Find the scarlet kimono. Look for Michelle. The common bathroom at the Calais coach is locked. Yeah, there was some lock. Yeah, that room was locked. Look for Matteo. He's also not around. CN Man walked outside. We get kidnapped. We get kidnapped. Oh, are we supposed to fingerprint the lock again? Do we have the lock again? No, we didn't pick it up. Oh, we have to kick it up. We have to go get that lock. Right. But the guy who picked it up might have had gloves. There's none of a camera angle. We look inside the model's mouth. Why? Oh, I think that's something we didn't do. Pick up that lock again. Okay. So we have to go back to the cabin and pick it up. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up.
This looks like...
Dead end? Okay. Maybe I can get it. Fuzzy slippers? Okay. Yeah, like some static electricity, right? Oh, I didn't pick that up. Oh, that was a mistake of you guys. Okay, we pick this up again. Good thing it was already broken, or we may have never escaped, yeah. Do we fingerprint this again? A second time? I doubt the kidnapper would be so sloppy.
I can't...
No. Okay, so we pick this up again. Maybe we use it as like a weapon. There's UHS. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, get that. So get that. That's one thing. Okay, now we have to use the ham radio. Get the letter. Look close at the ham radio. Make a telegraph key. We have to make a telegraph key. We have to make a telegraph key. Okay, so we're not fixing the radio. We're making a telegraph key instead. Or it's the same thing. I don't know. Not an electrical engineer. Wait, how did I just go in a circle? Not an electrical engineer. Telegraph key.
Throwing yourself...
No footprints? Oh, because of the snowshoes? Is that guy wearing snowshoes? The attendants were missing. Both attendants were mysteriously missing. Wait. Both attendants were mysteriously missing, huh? Huh? You guys notice that? Okay, we go in here. And this is blocked. No, that's open. The other one was locked. Hold on. Was there something else in here? Thinks she's dressed appropriately? I would say not. I would say not either. Okay, this is the ham radio room. There must be something in here like a pixel I missed. But not from this angle. There's no pixels being missed in this angle. Like a pixel I missed? Oh, the shoe closet? No. And you can look at ham radio. You can look at window. That's it. I'd have to look it up. I know she's wearing snowshoes. Combine the butter knife and the pliers to get the bent butter knife. Oh, so they just expected me to figure that out without, like, any clue at all. They just expected me to figure out that I needed to bend the butter knife. Where are the pliers? Okay, so that's why we didn't figure it out. Like, sorry. I was not born in the 1930s. I've never seen a telegraph in my life. I don't know how to make a telegraph key. Sorry. I didn't know how to bend the butter knife.
I bent the blade of the butter knife back on itself.
Okay, you gotta give me some kind of hint. Alright, so we bent the butter knife. You gotta give me some kind of hint here. I didn't know I needed to bend the butter knife. Come on, these now?
I can't.
Or do we use the butter knife?
Does nothing strike?
Zoom in on this and then use the butter knife. There's gonna be a bunch of things that I... Like, show me a picture, you know? of like an idea of what I... Give me some kind of idea. I don't know what's next. Combine the butter knife, the hammer, and the nails to make a makeshift telegraph key. You gotta show me a picture. You gotta show me a picture. How was I supposed to know that I had to bend a butter knife and then combine it with a hammer and nails to make a telegraph key? How would you know that? How would you know that? You gotta give me more than that.
A makeshift telegraph key.
Okay.
I constantly amaze myself.
I see you tap it. Okay, I see that. You gotta give me a little more. You gotta give me a little something. And then you put that there. Okay. You gotta give me a little something else.
I'm on the right...
Now what? Combine the copper wire with the pliers. Okay, you cut the wire. That's somewhat more sensical. That makes somewhat of a sense. That makes some sense. You want to cut the wire. Like, maybe we should have cut it. Okay. Cut the wire. Okay, even though pliers don't cut things, but I guess you could pry it apart. Sure, sure, sure.
I suppose that will do as a telegraph key.
Okay. Okay.
I have a makeshift.
Okay, now do I use the statue? Or do I have to do some other random combinations of objects that make no sense? Make an electrical source. Place the punch bowl on the table. The punch bowl? Punch bowl? I don't have a punch bowl. Punch bowl. Punch bowl. Take the ice bucket from the bar and take the punch bowl from the bar. I have glasses. I have a bowl of cake batter. And I have an ice bucket. You mean the punch bowl?
That doesn't make...
Do we have to like take this out? Are we done with this?
Something.
Do I have to get... Do they mean this?
Don't bother me! I'm doing my makeup.
Do they mean this? Oh, maybe there's another bowl I can take, but there's nothing on the bar anymore. There's nothing on the bar. I didn't know that. I didn't know it. I didn't know it. It's too... Like, they can't just expect you to know to make that like that. They can't. Okay, so I need to take a punch bowl. Take a punch bowl. I'm wondering if we can be dead-ended somehow. Oh, from the bar. Oh, we haven't looked at the bar in a while, because I assumed I got everything. Maybe more things have appeared that I can take. Oh, a new thing appeared. This punch bowl. I didn't notice that I could take... I need to take this punch bowl. Okay. Yo, Caesar, thanks for the sub. Thanks for the 19 months. You've earned 5% off at your local. Thank you very much. Hardhead cat to you, too. Punch bowl had appeared that I have to take. Or it was always there. I don't know. But we got a punch bowl. So the punch bowl is how we make the electrical source. Okay. Okay. Alright. Alright, alright. Let's go see if we can figure it out from after the point where we put the punch bowl. Gotta have the punch bowl.
I confess that...
Gotta zoom in. Then use a punch bowl. Okay. Now I do the... How is this making... The statue?
I'm on the right...
The copper?
Oh, mama.
The punch bowl. The ice and stuff. The knife. The... What goes in the punch bowl? Pliers? What else do I have? The bar? Something with the bar? The orange juice? Fill it up with orange juice? What would make an electrical source that I have? I don't know. I don't know. What is it? This is a very hard puzzle to figure out. How would she even know how to do this? Use the carafe of orange juice on the punch bowl. Okay. I just had to zoom out. Okay. Acidic? I see. It's acidic. Okay. Place the statue and the orange juice. You gotta bend the bracelet. Like, you can't just use it.
The good detective.
You have to bend the bracelet also. Okay, we're bending the bracelet. Orange juice in a bowl as a power source? Are they just effing with us?
The copper bracelet is now straight with a hooked end.
Okay.
With any luck, that will power the radio, at least for a short time.
The acid of the orange juice can create electricity. Okay. Got it. Cool. Cool. Alright, now what is the, yeah, some kind of a, yeah, electroplating, Rant Scott, yeah. Yeah, I know all about that. 2N2THR. Okay.
There, the radio is ready to be used.
Alright, that makes sense. Oh,
that will save. There.
Okay, 2N2.
Superb, mademoiselle. You do not need to learn the Morse code if you have the book as reference.
Got it. No, there's nothing that says how to do that. I mean, the orange juice thing you can figure out. Oh, what's it saying? It's saying, a lady ham. You're working with my father's friend, Poirot. Murder. Of course, I'll help in any way I can. I have ham friends all over the world. Tell me what you require. Okay. No, this makes sense. This makes sense. You could kind of figure this out. The something about the acid generates something. I don't know the exact science of it. Yeah. I don't know the exact science, but if you're running low on batteries for something, just pour some orange juice in a bowl and, you know, dip some wires into it. You know, if your power goes out, it can run your fridge. Let's order a pizza. What is chlamydia-induced enteritis? That's for the doctor. I'll have to research that and get back to you. All right. What can you find out about the family of a train company employee named Pierre Michel? I'll look into it. All right. Can you confirm that Cyrus Hardman works for McNeil's detective agency in New York? I'll see what I can do. I got a lot of... We're giving this guy a lot of tasks. What's the name of actress Linda Arden's husband? I'd be glad to look that up for you. Is there a Count Rudolf Andrényi attached to the Hungarian diplomatic service? Let's see if he's actually really a diplomat. I'll see what I can find out. What can you tell me about Countess Andrényi? I'll see what I can find out. Wow, how is he going to tap all this information to us? This would take years to tap out all these answers. See what you can find out about the service record of a Colonel Francis Gordon Arbuthnot. No problem, I'll get right on it. What can you find out about Mary Debenham? Shouldn't be too hard, I'll let you know. What can you find out about Hector McQueen? I'll get right on it. Find out what you can about Klaus Herkensheimer, a chef. Anything to help. Anything on Matteo Reverte, attendant of the Athens-Paris coach? I'll research that and get back to you. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. What can you learn about an American lady named Miss Caroline Hubbard? Let me see what I can dig up. What can you discover about Greta Olsen, a Swedish missionary in Gemlik, Turkey? Let me look into this further. Can you find out the name of the cook in Colonel Armstrong's house? Shouldn't be a problem. Can you find out the last name of Suzanne, Daisy Armstrong's nursemaid? I'll do my best. Thanks for your help. Who's asked him to do 30 things? Hey, Fat. How's the whodunit going? Good. It's a bit of a ridiculous game, but it's still a good game. It's just ridiculous. Let's turn her off.
That will save.
I wouldn't want this orange juice to be drained. What's the basics physics behind this? Battery from orange juice. Citrus fruits such as oranges, lemons, grapefruits can be used to generate electrical currents. The acid in the fruits combines with electrodes such as copper and zinc to generate electricity. Okay. Okay. What is this? Hello? Oh, a video on the webpage I opened. I love that. I love that, like, when the internet first started, there was, like, videos and music everywhere. And then eventually we got to the point where, like, you should not do that. You should not play music, videos. It was, like, it used to be, like proper etiquette, internet etiquette to not do that. But now it's just come back. Every website you use has a video, has music playing, not even on the screen you're on. You have to like scroll all the way down. Or it's some video about something completely unrelated sometimes. Anyway, I don't know why I'm opening this website and looking at it, reading it silently. But anyway, yeah, you use the acid and it generates electricity. It's the wonders of the world. If I know what my sister's husband's personal chef dog eating this morning, I'll get right on it. You missed the piano of the first game? Me too. Nighty night time, nighty nighty nighty. And then there were none game OST. Nighty night time. Agatha Christie, and then there were none soundtrack. Here we go. Here we go. That's not it. That's not it. Where is it? There it is. Here, we'll listen to this. Nighty, nighty, night time. Scrolling Marquez. Hamster dance. Yeah, there's a lot of news sites, but there's a lot of other sites. Nighty, night time. Alright, so is he done yet? You done looking all that up? Because I think this is what we need to do. You done? You ready? We good to go? Barnaby here, I have the information. Okay, now let's find out what he... Wow, that was quick. Yeah, the autoplay video. I'm ready to always pause it, yeah, when news. Pop-ups have come back? Oh, really? I haven't seen pop-ups. Nighty, nighty. What did you find out about chlamydia-induced enteritis? Chlamydia-induced enteritis is a particularly rum disease found in animals, especially newborn calves. Huh. So the doctor was giving a talk about animal diseases? Night time, nighty, nighty, nighty. What'd you find out about Pierre Michel, who I think is actually the killer? The killer's father? Pierre Michel has no family. He's not married. His parents are deceased. The poor fellow's pretty much alone in the world. Wait, the guy on the train's name is Pierre Michel. Parents are deceased. Has no family. This guy is dead, and he also had a photo of the pudding girl. He had a photo of Pudding Girl. Who's the girl? This is the girl that was killed. Also known as Pudding Girl. Because she looks like pudding. Yo, Leroy, thank you for the sub. Thank you for the 31 months. Thank you for the Prime sub. Thank you very much. Alright, let's get back into this. Did you confirm that Cyrus Hardman is a PI? I confirm he worked for the detective agency for 15 years. So Hardman is the only one who's not lying, even though he did lie, then he came clean. Hey Nathan Pockets, hey Retro Robino. He came clean. I don't understand what this part is. Linda Arden? The name of actress Linda Arden's husband? Linda Arden was never married, but the father of her 2 children was rumored to be a theatrical producer named Mark Gilbert. Show people. The rules don't seem to apply to them. He wrote that all out in beeps and boops in the Morse code. Who's Linda Arden? Or what's the Arden connection? I don't know. I missed what that is. Alright, did you find out about Count Rudolf Andrani, who's supposedly a Hungarian diplomat? He's one of the rising stars in the Hungarian diplomatic corps. He's served in several major capitals of the world. Okay, well at least that name is real, even if it's not who is on the train. What'd you find out about the Countess Andrani, that guy's wife? She's married the Count over a year ago. Maiden name is Gilbert. Gilbert. Gilbert? That sounds familiar. Gilbert Gottfried? Hey, the mollusk. Hey, Exmensa. What's a rum disease? I don't know. What'd you find out about the British Colonel Francis R. Buttnott? He's serving in India. Royal Emberlin Fusilier. Solid but indistinguished military career of 30 years. He's serving in India? Then why is he on this train? He got on the train. Does this train go through India? What'd you find out about Mary Debenham, who's connected to the Colonel in some way? Their fingerprints were both found in the same room, and she's like, doesn't want to talk to us ever. She comes from a good family, daughter of a Sussex clergyman, has had several positions as governess here and abroad. Okay. Statue's gonna dissolve. You're gonna have to, or it's just gonna become RNG. What'd you find out about Hector McQueen? Hector McQueen graduated from Princeton, a university the Yanks call Ivy League. No idea what that means. Since then he's been gadding about the world doing this and that. Not much to tell. That was the secretary of the guy, of the bad killer who was killed. Alright, let's listen to this again. This is much better. People who are good at Morse code are really good at it, yeah. At least once they know it really well, they can do it like real fast and recognize it real fast. What'd you find out about Klaus the chef? I can only locate one item on this chef fellow newspaper account of an outbreak of Poteau, Maine at Stuttgart, Germany restaurant where he was head chef. Nobody died, no charges filed. He went after a reporter with a cleaver. I wish it would actually tap out the realistic Morse code. I wish. Dun, 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 dun. Spanish ham radio enthusiast Mateo, the other attendant, one incident when he was younger, stabbed some fellow with a knife during a fight, but a good report on him from a Monsieur Bouche in Istanbul. I say Bouche was beside himself with worry over your train getting stuck in the snow. I didn't mention that I was in contact with you. Thought it to be discreet. Thought to be better to be discreet. Oh, so Mateo stabbed someone during a fight. So Mateo's a stabber. Mateo's already committed stabs, so he's stabbed. What'd you learn about Caroline Hubbard, the American widow? Checked with the American embassy about your Mrs. Hubbard. You'd think a middle-aged lady could manage to stay out of trouble. Alright, let's do this again. That's horrible. But she's filed various nonsensical complaints about beggars accosting her, service at hotels, unfair prices from street vendors and so on, with consuls in London, Paris, Prague, and Istanbul. They are of the opinion she should return to America and stay there. She's just a real stinky, annoying lady that no one likes. If you're a real stinky, annoying lady that no one likes, it's like a never-ending cycle, right? Like, everyone hates you and no one likes you, so you just keep being annoying, so even more people don't hate you because everyone hates you, so you're like, why does everyone hate me? I might as well be annoying, you know? Hey, Roland, can you borrow a feeling? Sure, which one do you want? There was an electrical system that did 60 to 120 and a late-game telegraph machine that did 1,000 words per minute. Ay, ay, ay. How's Francis' #1 famous detective doing? He's still lying in his bed like a lazy bum, Vicky. Hey, Luna. Alright, what'd you find out about Greta Olsen? Hold on to your hat, this is amazing. Greta Olsen is really Greta Olsen, a Swedish nurse and missionary working at a school in Gemlik. Sorry, my little joke, she is who she claims to be. Okay. What'd you find out about the name of the cook in the Colonel Armstrong's house, who we believe is the princess's lady assistant? The Armstrong cook was a German woman by the name of Hildegard Schmidt. Okay, Hildegard Schmidt. Wait, so that's an H name. Oh, yeah, Hildegard Schmidt. Did you find out the name of the last name of Suzanne the nursemaid? Wapaka. Yo, thank you, Luna, for the sub. Did you find out the last name of Suzanne the nursemaid? Suzanne Ferrier, born in Paris. That's all I'm afraid. Can you research the service record of a Colonel Toby Armstrong? Sure thing. Thanks for your help. I'll try again soon. Frisbee, redeem, look at the angry dog. Yeah, she's a Karen Hubbard. Thank you. Luna, thank you very much for the 20 months. Thank you. Should we do this again? Should we just leave and come back? Wait, what? Oh, gotta turn it off. So, the last thing we asked him to do was research the dead kid. I keep having to say dead kid when I play this game. It feels weird. But the dead kid's father is who we just asked. The guy on this train who got killed a kid, okay? And all of the people in the train are, like, tied to that murder in some weird way. Therefore, everyone's a suspect. But the dead kid's father is Colonel Armstrong, I think. So let's try to see if he... What about Colonel Toby Armstrong? Colonel Armstrong was quite the hero, awarded the VC, served in the Great War, then India and Afghanistan, Royal Northumberland Fusiliers. Tragic, that kidnapping business, destroyed him, poor chap. Wait, isn't that the same thing that, Buttnut was in? My pleasure, Mademoiselle Marceau. Glad to help. Please give Poirot my best. If you're ever in London, I'd be pleased if you'd have dinner with me. You have a light touch on the key. Hams can tell this sort of thing, you know? I think we'd get on famously. Ah, it's like meeting online. Used to meet through a ham radio through Morse code. You got a light touch. I can tell you're a dainty lady. You seem real hot from your Morse code. What are you wearing? What's Morse code for what are you wearing? Yeah, wish it made you translate the answers. That would be great, yeah. Nighttime, nighty, nighty, nighty. Was there a burnt baby bird wrapped in copper wire suspended in a bowl of urine? Think some things are better left unsaid. Our Buttnut is also associated with the Armstrongs' child's father. Okay, we'll go back to the game audio. Also, schedule Monday and Tuesday streams are going to start at... We starting at 8 a.m. Eastern. They're going to start at 9 a.m. Eastern this week. And maybe for the next few weeks. So, we were streaming earlier because I had to leave at 3 p.m. Eastern, but now I don't, so they're going to just be starting at 9 a.m. Eastern. I know it's confusing with time zones, but just so you know, if the stream isn't on, wait an hour. Wait an hour if it isn't on when you come to the stream. Monday and Tuesday. The time I start Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, that's the time it's going to start Monday and Tuesday for at least this week and maybe next week, maybe the following week, maybe through the end of February. But yeah, about the bowl of urine. We made a battery, Guinea Prince. It turns out you piss in a bowl and put a statue in there, it becomes a battery. Let's try it, Zip. Okay, so I think now we go to Poirot. He's in the Calais coach. You don't like change? I mean, I wish I could just stream at the same time every day, but... I mean, if I start earlier, we can do an extra hour of stream on the Monday and Tuesday. You know? Because I have to leave at a very specific time normally. Yeah, just stay in the stream till the next broadcast. That's the easiest way. You don't like change? Oh, you mean like you don't like coins? I used cash the other day for the first time in a store. It felt very strange. For like the first time in years.
Ah, your return. So is there more to report to me, mademoiselle?
It felt very strange. So there was like 60 cents they were gonna give me. I was like, keep the change. Keep it.
Absolute crap.
First time I ever said keep the change. Hi Speedy, thanks for the year. Thank you so much for the sub. Absolute crap Christmas tree log champ. Beautiful. Beautiful Hi Speedy. Thank you for that sub. Monday, Tuesday streams begin Friday, Saturday. That's what I'm saying. Now you're confused. I know, I'm sorry for confusing you. I stream every third Wednesday where the date is a prime number.
And that is everything
yeah.
I have discovered so far.
We progress, mademoiselle.
I only stream on
Let us see what we can learn.
I only stream on days that are a prime number on the English agrarian calendar. Agrarian. Okay, here we go. Thanks for the sub. Okay, anyway. Okay, so now we have to... Okay, well now we have to tell him about all that crap.
The scarlet kimono turns up in my luggage.
Which a lady was wearing in the murder man's room.
It does not belong to me.
A lady was wearing it.
Oh, mademoiselle, I have no doubt of that. You have vigorously pursued its owner's identity. No. It is a defiance, you understand? It is a gauntlet thrown down. Very well. We take it up.
She's not telling him about how she was kidnapped and left outside for dead. She's not telling him about that? Alright, Countess Andrani's maiden name is Gilbert. The woman whose sister's daughter was killed.
Countess Adreni's maiden name is Gilbert.
Not a very Hungarian name, that.
Her accent is more American than Hungarian.
Wait, we already found out what her history was, though. Barnaby confirmed...
Barnaby confirms Colonel Arbuthnot served with Colonel Armstrong.
Yeah, the father of the dead child.
The Royal Northumberland Fusiliers. A regiment most
Fusiliers.
distinguished.
What's a Fusilier? I've never heard that before. I've heard of Fusilli pasta. Right, so here's the deal. Monday and Tuesday. If a train leaving my house arrived at the East Coast 4 hours ago and spontaneously assembled on the West Coast 6 hours ago, how many Backstreet Boy farts were emitted from Poirot? You just analyze that. That's the time the stream is starting tomorrow and Tuesday. If I considered abandoning all other life obligations, seizing my scheduling destiny. I am pretty good at scheduling. That part's embarrassing. She doesn't want to admit it. I mean, she got out of it pretty quickly. Alright, so the Colonel served with the dead child's father. Last name of the Armstrong cook was Schmidt, who's the lady on this train.
Barnaby has discovered that the last name of the Armstrong cook was Schmidt.
All of her ladies have said that she was a wonderful cook.
So she's not a maid, she's a cook. Why is she on this train? So she could get a little stab in? Alright, Pierre Michel has no family, the suspicious attendant.
Pierre Michel has no family.
Never married, parents dead, his sister, her husband, and a niece dead in the car crash? This is enough to explain the sadness that haunts him, and yet he carries the happy family photograph with him, a wife and a child.
Yeah. So he must be the fake attendant. He must be. That must be the fake attendant, maybe. What if it's twins? Twins! I didn't think about twins. Twins don't have the same fingerprints, right? He's carrying the photo. Maybe he's just carrying the guy's passport. It's a fake passport, and the photo was the truth about his past. Maybe he's the imposter. The nursemaid's name was...
The nursemaid's full name was Suzanne Ferrier.
French. Yet no apparent connection to any of the others involved in that case. Ah, well, not every clue will lead somewhere.
That could be connected to the stranger, the Suzanne Ferrier thing. Hardman worked for McNeil's.
Cyrus Hardman has worked for McNeil's for almost 15
Private
years.
detective.
I wonder.
Poirot is French, not Belgian, not Belgian. He's really, really French, you can tell, because he speaks French. He worked with a Hungarian lady for a while. Was she hungry all the time? Whoops. This one. The father of Linda Arden's children was named Gilbert. Who's Linda Arden?
The father of Linda Arden's children was named
also
Gilbert.
named Gilbert.
No marriage, just children. The smart set is often not so smart, I think. Merci, mademoiselle.
Oh, the report's not complete.
We are now armed.
Wait, what's the Gilbert? Like, it's hard to keep all this straight. There's just an amazing amount of things going on with all these characters. There's amazing, there's like 20 characters, and they're all lying, and they're all connected to the killer. They all have motive, and they all have all these secret things about them. I don't even know where to go now. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do now. Maybe I need to try to get into the back of the baggage car again. But the key was taken from us.
This seems to be...
I used to have the key to it, but the key's gone. It was taken from us. Oh look, we can organize our inventory a little bit here. We can organize here. Sure, put that there. Sure, why not? Let's put this ice bucket over here. Put this glass over here. What was that? Wait, what's this? Oh crap, that's not good. There's like a... Is this the key?
I won't do that.
What is this?
That isn't good.
It's an invisible object. What is it? That's not good. That's not good. I hope that's not the object I need. There's apparently an object that's invisible.
It appears it is...
That's not good. That's not good. I don't like that. Hopefully that's just a bug. A bug from when our inventory item gets taken away. Bug? That's not good. Captain has links. I don't know what to do. I have to look it up. I don't know what they want me to do now. We're very close to the end. Okay, we have to go talk to Debenham. Okay. That makes sense, because she's the only one who hasn't really talked to us. And we found out... Oh, that's true. We did find out a little bit more about some of these people. So now we can actually talk to them again and confront them on the new things we've found out. Or Debenham in particular, because we didn't talk to her this chapter. Yeah, this whole train is guilty. I think it really is. Even the train, yeah.
Mademoiselle Debenham, I must ask you why you lied to me earlier. Lied to you? I don't know what you mean.
This game's a little hard because there's a lot of other lies that we could confront people about, but it doesn't let you. So you have to figure out the specific lie that it wants you to confront her on. I mean, everyone else is lying too. There's a lot of things, like why didn't we confront Foscarelli about the fingerprints or the footprints? That might be because we don't want him to know about it, I guess.
You told me you had never been in America. What makes you think I have? Information received, as the English police say.
Backseating. You concealed the fact that you lived in the Armstrongs, the dead child's house.
You concealed the fact that you lived in the Armstrong household. And what, may I ask, was I supposed to have been doing there? You were governess to Helena Gilbert, Mrs. Armstrong's young sister.
Okay, Helena Gilbert was his sister.
And you would have no doubt been governess to little Daisy when she was old enough. You appear to have found me out.
I see.
And the reason for these evasions? I have my living to get. You must know how hard it is for a girl to get and keep decent employment. I had been detained and questioned in connection with a murder case. Do you think that any nice, ordinary, middle-class Englishwoman would want to engage a girl with those references as governess to her daughters? Even if no blame attached to you, there would be the publicity. Yes, we have it hard enough getting on, don't we? Without all of that additional baggage.
Okay. So the Gilbert is the name of Armstrong's sister. I see. So that's the Gilbert connection. So there's like, okay, multiple family lines that want to kill the guy who got killed on this boat train. Hey, Resonate. How you doing today? Hey, Dratsum. Okay, no nighty-night time music in this. I don't think this game has much music. I understand very well. You could have helped the investigation.
You could have helped the investigation? How? Is it possible, Mademoiselle Debenham? Call me Mary, please. Mary, is it possible you did not recognize Countess Andrenyi? Recognize her? From the society pages, you mean?
But that's Gilbert.
She is Helena Gilbert.
Yeah.
The young sister whom you taught in New York.
Yeah.
Helena. It is true she reminded me of someone. It puzzled me. But she looks so different now. So elegant. How could I connect her with a little American schoolgirl? I admit I looked more closely at her clothes than her face, and I had my own preoccupations.
That's weird. Maybe they're connected. Oh man, so many people would want to stab the guy. Poirot's in the game, but he sprained his ankle. The story of this is different than the book or the movie or the play or the slam poetry jam.
Not now. When it's all over. When it's behind us.
What's that mean?
Antoinette, those words refer to a private matter of my own. I can't tell you. I can't.
The words... Did she say those words to somebody?
I understand very well. I thought you would know what it is like. I am the hardest working employee in the office, yet I remain at the lowest wages.
Yeah.
And I've worried more than once how my employer, Monsieur Booth, will react when he learns of the avalanche, Monsieur Poirot's accident, the murder. I'm not to blame, but somehow you will be blamed. It's not fair. It's just the way things are. Thank you, Mademoiselle Debenham.
Women were not treated well back then, is what she means. Moira. Big Mortar. Love this story, Resin? Yeah, they changed it a little bit for the game. Just like they did with And Then There Were None. At the end of And Then There Were None, there aren't none, there's some. They changed it. They made there be some, and then there were some instead of none. Okay. Now, who else lied? Well, we already knew that the lady was Gilbert, because the Countess lady was... Oh, Arbuthnot. Served with Armstrong.
I will not
He won't talk to me.
I can't say I'm
He won't talk to me. Alright, I'm just going to talk to everybody.
You have been...
Okay, let's just talk to everybody. Enjoy the wonderful train sounds. Yeah, no wonderful music, just a train sound. The whole time, like you're on a real train. It's like you're on a real train. I think we have to go, like, I think that triggered something, like an event will happen. This guy?
Really?
Something weird about that guy. Did we talk to these guys again?
Before I...
Oh, your name isn't Helena. Your name is Helena, not Elena, but we already knew that. Didn't you say that?
Your name is Helena, isn't it? Not Elena. You are Helena Maria Gilbert, are you not? Sonia Armstrong's sister, Linda Arden's daughter.
Didn't she already say that?
I demand, mademoiselle, to know what right you...
No, Rudolph. It is useless to deny what Mademoiselle Marcel
I thought she admitted that earlier.
It is quite true, Mademoiselle. I am Helena Gilbert, the youngest sister of Sonia Armstrong.
Good day, Monsieur Lecomte.
Yeah, she already admitted that earlier. That's like a weird... And then she just said good day.
I know,
because that was the end of the conversation tree.
I have nothing more...
Okay. She already admitted that, so the dialogue is written a little strange there, so that she admits it twice. It's kind of... That seems like a mistake in the design. Unless I'm missing something.
I do not...
Alright, you. Talk to you again?
Mademoiselle.
You got something else to say? Okay. You want to talk to me yet?
I must attend to my...
He's still doing his duties. The soothing train sounds. Ready for some murderous mystery?
Thanks to a must.
Uh-huh. Barfy, you're in the right place. We're gonna solve a mystery today. I don't think there's too much left of this game. We're in, like, when I was looking at the walkthrough, there was only about 10% left of the walkthrough scroll bar. From when last time we looked at it. I don't know what we're playing next, but I don't think it's going to be the next Agatha. Maybe Dragon Dogma. Maybe Dragon Dogma. Not Outer Wilds. Definitely not Outer Wilds. Maybe Dragon Dogma or Blood Omen. Or, I don't know what I want to play. Oh, I should have gotten Drakan 2 to work. I could try to get Drakan 2 to work. I didn't test that yet. We could try Blood Omen and see how it goes. I think we'll do Blood Omen. That's the game. I already tested that game. Yeah, Red Dwarf. We looked at that earlier. The new Hercules Poirot movie. I think it takes place in France, his hometown. In France? It takes place in France, his hometown. Did I find the secret pile driver challenge in this game? I did. I found all of them. Found every single one of them. I don't know where to go next. I can't look through how many times can you look through an entire train? You know, before your eyeballs bug out of your head. We need a Psych video game. I do like that show Psych. That show Psych is like, it grows on you, you know? Like you don't want to like it, but you do. You don't expect that you would like it, but you do. I like that show Psych. Wait, I think there is a Psych game, but it's like a mobile thing.
I don't think he...
I like quirky detectives. Used to watch Mrs. Fisher. I do not know her. The Raven? Well, like, we can play the games, but you have to, like, test games first. I have to test them, make sure they work on stream. This is Outer Wilds. Who are you again, Puffy? Who are you? Have we met before? Slow improvements. Okay. Slow improvements. Well, improvements are good. All secret pile drivers have been found. Yes, Barfy, don't worry. The Raven was the only game that your video game rubbish X loved. My video game hating rubbish X, not the one from a long time ago, she only liked Machinarium. She didn't like Last Express. Oh no, these video game hating rubbish people, they just like random stuff. He might have even been lying, you know, they lie too. Rubbish X's. Let me see, The Raven. There's also The Raven game, Steam. There's also Black Mirror 4. The Raven Remastered, yeah. You want the remastered one, right? Oh, I remember looking at this before. Is there a difference between like remastered and not remastered? Yeah, you got old ass looking... Poirot's not looking too good. Looks like he's been eating too many caramel sunflower seeds. Can we watch the trailer? Well, I don't like watching the trailer. It spoils things. London 1964. Wow, so 30 years older? Wait, is this Poirot, right? What's he doing in this outfit? 30 years? So how old is he here? Like 40, 45? What is he, like 70? At the crime scene, a raven feather. Is somebody trying to follow in the footsteps of the Raven, a legendary master thief who disappeared years before? The Raven Remastered contains the Raven and Raven Remastered. The Raven Legacy of a Master Thief. Wait, is this... These are different games? Hold on, let me see. Digital Deluxe blah blah. Raven Remastered, a full graphical remaster. Lets you explore the story but through the eyes of multiple characters. This is 2018. The original game was 2018 game would work. All 3 chapters are now available. What was the original game? Well, I guess you would just play the Reap. Why is this face blocked out? Why is this face blurred out? Is his face like Japanese genitalia? Yeah, we suplexed this train. Exactly. Soon you'll be young and swole as me. I'm working on getting back into shape. It's happening slowly. Yeah, it's junk food television. Yeah, Red Dwarf. It's a good way to describe it. I like Psych. Psych is just a comedy kind of crime show, comedy detective-ish show. It's kind of like a parody of the like CSI and stuff like that. I mean, I like the original graphics. I don't now. Now I'm gonna have to think a while to determine which one we should play. He made you put the soundtrack on Spotify, really? It's like people that don't like video games have never actually played them. So then when they play a really good one, they're like, what? I didn't know games were like this. I thought games were only Pac-Man and Frogger. You know, like that's the thing that happens with these people. Like, you know, I bet there's a lot of people that don't even know, like, there's complex narratives, you know, where you solve a crime, right? Like, finding clues and solving a mystery. Like, they don't even know that exists in games. They just see games as, like, Jewel Blast and Frogger or whatever, you know? Or, like, they see it as, like, Atari, you know, or Shooting or Call of Duty. Like, they have no clue how complex games actually get. So when they see a real game, they're just they get blown away. They get their mind blown. Which one do I play? The remaster or the original? Is it old-ass Poirot? Is it old-ass Poirot? But what was in writing books until the 70s? But what's Poirot's age? Not. Is it not Poirot? Is that not Poirot? It looked like him. It looked like him. The Raven Legacy of a Master Thief, from the creators of the Book of Unwritten Tales. Is it not Poirot? Why does everyone have the same mustache? Same mustache. Look, that's Poirot. Is that not Poirot? It kind of looks... Oh, maybe that's just like he's just riding the train. Is it not Poirot? Constable Anton Jacob Zeller. Oh, it's not him at all. It just looks like him. These graphics look exactly the same. Look at this image that they give you for remastered and not remastered. What did you do? They turned on the lights? It looks exactly the same. Why would you do a remaster? Is this the Pringles guy? It's not Poirot. It looks, they just used Poirot's model and made him wrinkly, and they turned on the lights. Remastered version. You can actually see the game now. Whoops, we forgot lighting. Poirot's dead. That makes sense, yeah, because he'd be dead at that point. He's like got to be like 50 or 60. The real Poirot, David Suchet, is 75. I hate to look it up. I have no clue where to go. Go to Mary Debenham. Go to Dr. Oh, Dr. Constantine. Oh, yes. Because he's not a real doctor. He's a pet doctor. Where the hell is he? He's in the restaurant car? Galecos? Where the hell is he? Did I walk past him? Oh, in the tiny back of his head. Hey, Laplagan. You played the remaster? I mean, you might as well play the one that has lighting.
I'm sorry. I don't think I'm quite done yet.
Hero died.
What is the name of the conference you are addressing in London?
Why, it is the International Society of Gastrointestinal Physicians.
Lie!
Why would such a group be interested in a speech about a disease found in newborn calves?
Lie!
Why, there are many similarities between... What I mean is anatomy.
Lies.
Constantine, what have you done?
You lied to us about your qualifications, Doctor. You are a veterinarian, yes?
The lie detector test determined that was a lie.
Very good veterinarian.
Monsieur Poirot and I relied on your qualified opinions.
Mademoiselle Marceau.
Lies.
All the inconsistencies, the time of death, the difference in the force of the stab wounds. The murderer is strong, but no, look here. The murderer is weak. He is right-handed. No, he is left-handed.
Have you considered he may have held a knife in each hand?
Doctor, enough. All
Lies.
of it can be explained away with the simple fact that you did not know what you were doing.
Oh.
Mademoiselle, all of my training was to become a medical doctor, to treat human disease and to save human lives. Then, I come from a poor family. I had not the money to finish my studies. The best I could accomplish was doctor of animals. When Monsieur Poirot was told there was doctor on the train, I saw an opportunity to prove myself. Not to you, you understand. To me.
But your evidence...
I swear to you, every observation I made, every conclusion I reached will be verified by any doctor who examines the body. Further, by my acting while the murder was as yet not too long in the past, I may very well have seen more than any doctor coming to the case days or even hours later. I did lie about my degree. I did not lie about my ability. You may rely on everything I have told to you. Yes, even with all the inconsistencies, you have the correct medical evidence before you.
Wait, so he was right or he was wrong? He's a cow doctor, and he was the one that gave us all the information about the murder, the stab wounds, everything. It could all be wrong, but he's saying it's true. So he was just lying because he was ashamed. Everyone's just lying for all these different reasons. Stop lying. Stop lying. You shouldn't lie. Did their parents not teach them you should never lie? Hey, Mithra. You didn't know if it was remastered? Well, the remaster and the other version look exactly the same. They look exactly the same. We'll play it at some point. Alright, now we go to talk to Poirot again. So the medical doctor could have been lying about all the stabbing.
Your return.
Blah, blah, blah. Well, it turns out the doctor was a damn cow doctor. He's a veterinarian. He made up all that stuff about the stab wounds because he wanted to pretend to be a real doctor. No one on this train tells the truth. Everyone's a liar. They're all jerks. I say we just forget this case. I mean, the guy who got killed was a child murderer. Why do we care about who the killer is anyway, Poirot? I've had enough of this case. How do you do it? Everyone you interrogate is a liar. Everyone's lying.
And that is everything I have discovered so far.
We progress, mademoiselle. Let us see what we can learn.
And this is why, like, police must get, like, seriously mentally damaged. Because everyone they talk to is a liar. You know? I think if you're, like, police or detective or... You gotta have a really strong mind to deal with that, you know? You probably start doubting people in your real life, too. Because you find out how much everyone lies constantly, you know? You can't ever trust anything anybody says. Lying is bad. I agree, Ketch. You shouldn't lie. If only we all told the truth, we would all be in a better place. Alright, Countess Andreni is actually Helena Gilbert. We knew that, though.
Countess Andreni is Helena Gilbert, Sonia Armstrong's sister.
The mother of the girl who was killed.
It is easy to see why her devoted husband would try to hide that fact. Her account of the Armstrong household is of the greatest interest. Please to go over the points of her testimony that struck you.
The thing that struck me was that she was really, really sad that everyone in her family was killed, and her family was ruined by the murder of the child.
Dr. Constantine is a veterinarian.
Hey, Daphne.
The only man on the train who answers the description of Ratchet's unknown enemy, and that is his only secret? Bah!
I have all the pieces. I do?
I have all the pieces.
I don't
all that remains
have so many
is for me
pieces.
to assemble them properly.
Très bien, mademoiselle. You have done well. Mademoiselle Marceau, you will recall my observation
so many pieces.
of the many classes and nationalities one meets when traveling.
Yes, of course.
Try to imagine whether such an assembly would ever likely to be collected under any other conditions.
No, they wouldn't. That's exactly what I was saying. It doesn't make sense for all these people to be on the train at the same time. Oh, I wonder if they were all tipped off. Oh, so Poirot is actually calling this out. It is too much of a coincidence that all these people involved with the murder of a child or the family of the murdered child are all on the train at the same time. So I wonder if they were all lured here, and then maybe told that the murderer was on the train too, and it was kind of like they knew something was going to happen. Oh, Poirot looks mega comfy. He doesn't have a very good blanket though. I have a much better blanket. Yeah, I got this blanket for free. I forget where I got this. Actually, let's just play like this. Let's just play like this. Twitch partner, by the way. They take care of their people. Twitch takes care of their people. They give us blankets because they know they can't afford to buy them. So they give us blankets so we can stay warm in the winter. It's actually a really nice blanket.
In America?
Oui, the great melting pan of America.
Melting pot.
This is the answer I made to myself as well. Only in America you might find a household composed of such varied nationalities. And what do we discover here? Such a household has recreated itself aboard this train. A household damaged almost beyond recovery 10 years ago by the man wretched.
Partner.
And so we near the end of at least one journey. Please to assemble our fellow passengers in the salon car. Oh, and please also to send for Michel and Dr. Constantine. I will need their assistance to convey me to the salon car.
You will present your solution?
I'm gonna keep this portrait of
I will
Angelina.
offer 3 solutions. You, mademoiselle, will decide which of them will best serve justice.
Okay, so
Eh bien, monsieur.
Poirot
We
ends
have
up
before us a
solving
most
it.
delicate operation.
Thank you for the bits,
Transferring the
Red
person of
Dwarf.
Poirot to the salon car, where the suspects, they are all assembled.
Thanks,
Poirot
Red Dwarf.
is ready for the ordeal.
Twitch bandana, Twitch hat, partner. They know we're cold.
Mon Dieu, take
They're
care.
transporting him. Brr.
Beware of Greeks bearing gifts.
For some reason, they think we're really cold. Okay, so he's gonna present the solutions, and we have to choose. We just did all the legwork and just talk to people. Most of the game.
Mesdames et messieurs, there are 3 possible solutions of this case. There is the solution concocted for the benefit of the Yugoslavian police, who were expected to take up the investigation. A little play that was then embellished with several improvisations. When I, Hercule Poirot, unexpectedly appeared on the stage.
Uh-oh.
And then there is a solution that reveals the most careful plotting of a truly brilliant mastermind.
Brilliant. Who dat? Yeah, it's a nice blanket, Ash, it is. It's a nice blanket.
And yet there is also a third, one of which I think even now, that mastermind, in this carriage with us as I speak, has no knowledge.
Huh? A third person?
With the help of Mademoiselle Marceau, my able assistant, you see Poirot, he is also able to improvise, huh? I shall put all 3 solutions before you, and I shall ask Mademoiselle Marceau and the eminent Dr. Constantine here to judge which solution is the right one. Mademoiselle, are you ready to proceed?
I wish I could have saved it first. I didn't realize this would be the end.
We commence. Monsieur
Oh, can I save it here?
received the threats from an unknown enemy. Mademoiselle Marceau?
Yeah, Twitch likes to cover all their partner stuff in the word partner. It's like their branding. Partner. They just write partner all over everything. I was gonna say, I forgot. Congratulations on making Twitch partner. Thanks, Resin. Thank you. Yeah, we got partner. We got it. Show the socks and the Connect 4. I didn't wash them yet. They're in a pile over there, the socks. We did get Connect 4.
I need a moment to decide.
Time is of the essence, ma'am.
Okay, I can save the game. Sick. Okay, they even let you save the game here. End one. Okay, what was the question again? What did he ask? What did he ask? Wait, what did he say? I was sleeping. I was sleeping. What did he say? What was the question? What was that question he asked? I was sleeping. I have to go watch the VOD. Who got threats? Who misread torn letter as torn letter? Tom letter? I was sleeping. Thanks for the portrait of Angelina Red Dwarf. I need to watch the VOD to see what Poirot just said. Uh-oh. Are you ready to proceed?
Received threats from an unknown enemy.
Ratchet received threats from an unknown enemy. Okay. The threatening letter, the torn letter. It's not the torn letter. It's the second threatening letter and the Ratchet's confession. The threatening letter, or not the confession, it would be this one or this one. Threatening letter.
The tone of these letters suggests an enmity born in the American underworld, of which Monsieur Ratchet was once a part. A former colleague in one of his kidnapping schemes? Who knows? We have the evidence of a detective Monsieur Ratchet hired to protect him.
Oh, this is all the evidence? We're talking about all the evidence we found? Okay. Hey, ChaosCon. Hello? Hey, Patharesh. The evidence that he was a detective, yes. Cyrus Hardman. Oh, so you can just be completely wrong?
The detective is Cyrus Hardman, posing as a salesman of typewriter ribbons.
The evidence of Monsieur Hardman, who is indeed a detective hired to protect Monsieur Ratchet, gives to us a description of a small, dark man with a womanish voice. Except for the voice, this description would only fit 2 men on this train.
Yeah. With a womanish voice? 2 men? Klaus and Lucienne? Klaus doesn't have a womanish voice. Matteo and Dr. Constantine with the mustache?
Matteo, the Athens Paris coach attendant, and Dr. Constantine.
Yet Monsieur Hardman's vigilance during the night shows that no one could have passed from the Athens Paris coach to the Calais coach without his seeing them. So anyone in that coach must be exonerated. The enemy actually came aboard the train at Belgrade one of 2 ways.
Yes, yes, we do know that. How do I feel about mushrooms? Oh, I like them a lot. Yeah, I'm going to start making them a lot more because I looked up they have some health benefits. I was never getting them because it seemed like they were like a wasted food. But it turns out they do have some health benefits. So yeah, I like mushrooms. But you got to cook them a little bit maybe. Or you can eat them raw maybe with some salad dressing, Dave. I'll let you do that. Red Dwarf, thanks for the another portrait of Angelina. Through the door left unbolted by Mr. McQueen. Or helped aboard the restaurant car door by Pierre Michel. I would say the door left unbolted.
Through the door left unbolted by Monsieur McQueen.
Can I get this wrong?
This enemy was disguised, leaving behind a button in Madame Hubbard's room when he used her connecting door.
Yeah.
Mademoiselle, the disguise?
Oh, so I can get this wrong? The disguise was the attendant's uniform.
A passkey was found in the pocket of this uniform, giving the murderer access to Ratchet's room. Ratchet was under the influence of a dose of his sleeping draught, light enough to wake him, but strong enough to prevent him from struggling as the killer left through the connecting door.
Yeah, I love mushrooms, yeah. Yeah, no, I love mushrooms, yeah. I want to start making them more. Used to have mushrooms with steak. You do like a beef bouillon thing with the mushrooms, and they're like soupy soup mushrooms kind of a thing. You eat them with a steak. Yeah, I love mushrooms, but I'm gonna come up with some new. And what you can do is you can, if you're thirsty, you can take a can of like cream of mushroom soup and pour that in a glass and just drink it. Let's see. Masterman confirmed the dosage.
Masterman confirmed the dosage of the sleeping draft.
Yeah. I like how you can see his model coming apart in seams.
Mademoiselle?
The murder weapon? Oh. I'm gonna guess it's the stiletto. It's the only knife we found blood on. But I'm not sure. It could have also been this knife. Why was this knife thrown outside? We don't know. I'm guessing the stiletto.
It is a stiletto, the type of knife carried by the criminal type in America called the mafiosi.
The killer planned to leave the train at the next station after committing his crime. Show to them the evidence supporting this,
The
mademoiselle.
killer planned to leave. Would that be the letter, the killer, the ripped up letter that we got? Not Ratchet's letter. Yeah, the torn letter that we put together. That was the note that was the actual killer's. Yeah, mushrooms on onion. Yeah, mushrooms with steak, very good. Yeah, I love mushrooms. Mushrooms on a pizza, glass of cream of mushroom soup.
Exactly.
Can you get this wrong?
The avalanche prevented him from reaching Broad. Even so, he went through with the crime and then hid himself.
If Poirot's not saying, like, exact, does that mean I'm getting it wrong? The killer hid in the baggage car inside Ratchet's crate. That's my guess. Or he hid in an empty room in the Athens-Paris coach. Well, he was supposed to hide here. The killer hid in a shepherd's hut in the mountain. No. That's not what happened. He hid... Well, the note told him to hide in an empty room. Who would have been hiding in the baggage car? There was a different uniform in there, so I think he hid in an empty room.
The killer hid in an empty room in the Athens-Paris coach.
At first,
is that right?
In the Athens-Paris coach. Then later, it is in the hut. Mademoiselle found the uniform and the stiletto.
Yeah.
But the killer had fled.
Wait, was I wrong or right?
He may have escaped down the mountain, or he may have come to his just reward somewhere out there in the snow.
Okay.
I think you will agree
what?
that
Did I get
we
any of
had
that
followed
right?
the trail as easily as if we were tracking the footprints in the snow. Well, it is plausible.
Way.
It certainly fits the most obvious set of facts.
Way.
I applaud the mastermind who hides behind such an innocent face.
Foscarelli? Huh? Oh, no. The Swedish maid? Swedish lady?
The second solution asked more of the little Gressels. Not only of Poirot, but those of Mademoiselle Marceau and Dr. Constantine as well. It was hidden most carefully. The unlikely accident of a means of communicating with the outside world, a part filled most ably by my dear friend Barnaby, made the truth, or at least part of it, easier to uncover. But I flatter myself that enough clues were found right here on this train that such communications were almost always but collaborations of conclusions that I had already reached. So, mademoiselle, we will begin again.
Alright, so that first thing...
First, I will speak to you of time. When did Monsieur Ratchet meet his end? I suspect Mademoiselle Marceau has the theory.
So that first thing was not real. That was like the one that they wanted the police to... Oh, and the knife was thrown outside to pretend that that was the murder weapon. And as if the killer had fallen off of the cliff. So the first one was the one... So that was not the real one. Even that note might have been completely fake. So that they would find the note and put it together and say, oh, the killer had this note, but the truth was actually something else. All of that first, that was the fake. Then this is the real, and then the third thing is like a wrinkle in the blanket, as you might say, like something unexpected even by the mastermind. I have no idea. I need a moment to decide.
Time is...
When was he killed? We can look at the timetable. The last time he was seen alive was 10:40 by Greta, if she wasn't lying. We heard the ah! I think he was killed before the avalanche. Oh wait, no, Ratchet's bell rings and Ratchet said, "Ce n'est rien, je suis méchant." But that's French. That's French. He didn't speak French. Why wouldn't he have just said, "I'm tired, leave me alone"? Leave me alone. Schmidt sees the attendant, not Michelle. I think he was dead right here. I think he was dead before 12:38. That's what I think. Let's see if... Shortly before 12:37 a.m. That's what I say.
Shortly before 12:37 a.m.
That's what I think.
It could not have been Ratchet who called out to Michelle in French.
Yes!
He didn't speak French.
Let us examine each possibility in turn.
That's what I just said.
10:40 p.m. or earlier? No. I think not. Mademoiselle Olsen spoke to Ratchet from the doorway at 10:40 p.m., but she never went inside. It conjures the image most bizarre of her throwing a knife at him 12 times from the doorway. And how does she retrieve it? Is there string attached to the handle? No. No, that is a solution of a most lurid sort. 12:37 a.m.?
Puzzwiz.
A more interesting possibility. Monsieur McQueen states that Ratchet spoke no languages other than English, and yet The voice answered Michel in French.
Ouais.
Still, I think this was simply a performance for the benefit of Poirot. One of the little improvisations.
Quoi?
I was meant to see through it and say, no. Monsieur Ratchet, he was already dead by 12:37. He could not have cried out.
The broken watch said 1:15.
Oui, it did. And it fits with the time of Madame Hubbard's visitor. Now I digress for the reminiscence. I observed to Mademoiselle Marceau that one meets many classes and nationalities when traveling aboard the Express. I asked her to imagine whether such an assembly would ever likely to be collected under any other conditions. And Mademoiselle, what was your reply?
Wait, so that was for Poirot? So this is like a mastermind, even speaking French to make him, whoever was listening would say he was dead at a different time? No, we never asked about the scream, Vicky. I don't remember what time the scream was. Hey, brother, respect. Hey, Lamb, Zach. Hey, it's Sarah, live. Police, bah! Thank you for the 61 bits, Madigan. In America.
In America.
Right?
C'est ça. Only in America will you find a household composed of so many nationalities. Look about you. As our investigation progressed, it became clear that 9 passengers on this train are connected in some way to the Armstrong kidnapping.
You're even more.
Who have we connected to that case, mademoiselle?
Oh my god, so many people. Countess.
Countess Andrenyi.
Colonel Arbuthnot.
Colonel Arbuthnot.
Mary Debenham.
Mary Debenham.
Princess Dragomirov.
Princess Dragomirov.
Foscarelli, no. Hardman, no. Hubbard. McQueen, his father was like the attorney.
Hector McQueen.
Masterman was, right? Masterman. Because I remember saying I forget. Hubbard was not. No. Masterman, I believe, was. How many did we list already? Masterman was, because I remember saying the guy who worked for him was tied to the murder of the guy that he did. I think Masterman was.
Edward Masterman.
Pierre Michel had a picture of the pudding girl.
Pierre Michel.
Can you really think that illustrates my point?
What? I messed up? The Count wasn't. Foscarelli. Wait, Foscarelli was a chauffeur.
Antonio Foscarelli.
Ah, I screwed up. Okay, I said the wrong name. Michelle, we don't know. Even though he had a picture of the pudding girl. We don't know. Hey, sassy gal. Colonel Arbuthnot, that's his name. Colonel Arbuthnot. Olsen was.
Greta Olsen.
Right, I think Michelle. I know Michelle was. Oh, maybe that was just to throw us off. Maybe somebody put the photo in Michelle's passport. Oh, I wonder if he was being framed. Okay. And Schmidt was the cook.
Hildegard Schmidt.
And none of the above.
None of the above.
Precisement.
Poirot scolded me.
These 4 alone, amongst the occupants of the Calais coach, would appear to have no direct connection with the Armstrong case. Yet I was struck by the curious coincidence that everyone in the Calais coach had an alibi. And these alibis are sometimes corroborated even by those not connected to the Armstrong affair. One of you stated to Mademoiselle Marceau that while Monsieur Ratchet got what he deserved, you would have preferred to see him properly hanged. The trial by jury is a sound system. Who said that, mademoiselle?
Would have wanted to see him hanged? Dude, I don't remember. Who wanted to see him hanged? But I think it was Butnot.
Colonel Arbuthnot.
Just so.
Okay.
Colonel Arbuthnot. Now that struck a chord with Poirot. I sat back and thought, a jury is composed of 12 people. There are 12 passengers in the Calais coach, discounting myself and Mademoiselle Marceau. Ratchet, he was stabbed 12 times. And the reason the Calais coach was filled in the middle of the winter was explained. All, I repeat, all of the passengers were in on it. They had to be. No alibi could be left to the whim of a stranger. Did this solution explain everything? Let us see. What were the clues that pointed to the first solution, mademoiselle?
Okay. Yeah, you like the French detective Poirot, Sarah? Cool. Hey, Doritos. One second. Yeah. We're gonna play the next one too. There's another one where you play as the French detective Poirot. Who's the evil slimmer twin of who? Of what? Who was the what? The thing that's supposed to lead us to the first solution? The small dark man? No problem about using the stiletto. All these clues.
All of these clues agree with the first solution.
Right.
Wait. And now, of course, my attention focused on Monsieur Hartman, for he, the apparent outsider, had provided a key element in this artificial solution of an unknown enemy. How to explain his complicity? And then I remembered that Mademoiselle Marceau had told to me 2 suggestive moments during 2 different interviews with Monsieur Hartman.
Mm-hmm. When he asked me to find a Kutaya tile, when he said the snow was bright, when he apologized to me, when he gave me the key to the security room in the baggage car. Wait, what am I?
When he gave me the key to the security room in the baggage car.
No, mademoiselle.
When the what?
When he asked me to find a Kutaya tile.
Mademoiselle, I realize you have many clues to
Sorry, I don't know what you're asking me, Poirot. This is a lot to keep straight.
When he said the snow was bright.
May we?
What?
The snow has not been very bright today. The sky, it is overcast.
He was out in the snow.
And in his apology, he mentions his fondness for French girls. Countess Andrenier told us that the nursemaid, she was French. Her name was Suzanne. Our young friend Barnaby Lewis confirms via the ham radio that her full name was Suzanne Ferrier, and that she was born near Paris. So, it is not so much a leap, I think, to wonder if perhaps the man from New York and the French girl working there might not have formed the attachment.
I'm confused.
I've been a detective for almost 20 years, Monsieur Poirot, but I'm in admiration of you. Yeah, Suzanne and I were going to ask her uncle if we could get hitched. He was her guardian. Then the kidnapping and everything. It was too much for her.
You're going to get hitched
her
to who
uncle,
now?
Monsieur? And his name?
What?
Oh, jeez. I can't say I remember.
A detective for almost 20 years? And you never even knew the name of your fiancé's guardian?
No, probably got it written down somewhere back in New York.
Enough of this foolishness. I can guess his name right now, and so I expect come Mademoiselle Marceau.
The who, uncle, what? I'm lost. I'm officially lost. You wish you're a French detective? Like Poirot? The uncle's name is... Oscarelli?
Antonio Foscarelli.
Please do not embarrass...
Ah, crap. Monsieur Ferrier?
Monsieur Ferrier.
The picture in your valise, it is that of you, your sister, and her daughter Suzanne?
Oui, monsieur. After my sister and her husband died in a car crash, I raised Suzanne as my own child.
Oh.
And so, that leaves only one.
Me? If your tenant is one of your killers, Mr. Poirot, that makes you 12. You don't need me.
No, madame. I have come to the odd conclusion that the person who has taken no part in the crime is the one who would be considered most likely to do so. I refer to Countess Andrenier. Her husband swore on his honor she did not leave her room last night.
You know what they did?
Count from a noble family? A rising young star in the Hungarian diplomatic service?
I know what they did.
Such a man does not swear upon his honor lightly. No, it is much more probable that he tells the truth. And it is the devoted husband who, so to speak, takes his wife's place. So you see, madame, we are back to 11 without you.
Well, I never. Wait until my daughter hears about this.
Why not tell her now? She is sitting there right beside you, Madame Adam.
Huh?
You are the instigator, or the director, I should say, of this entire performance.
Huh?
You, who Mademoiselle Debenham so rightly called the strongest character among us.
Really?
And there you have it. Does this second solution explain everything? Let us see. Mademoiselle Marceau, what was the real murder weapon?
Oh man, I'm so lost. So it was the widow who's been directing all of this, and how is she related to who is she related to? And okay, you know what they probably did? It seems like they they had like models where they turned the lines of the models, like they made them a color, and they forgot to make them invisible when they put it in the game. Yeah, Poirot's crushing it so hard that I'm lost, but that's fine. So it turns out, so Poirot says that, Hercules Poirot says that the Hubbard woman is the actual one who's like the director of all this. Okay. And what's the actual murder weapon? Not the stiletto, the steak knife?
But of course. A drama planned this carefully does not include the blood-stained stiletto with the fingerprints of some unknown.
Oh.
No, that is merely a prop.
Oh.
As were the 2 threatening letters.
Oh.
The burned note, of course, was a real threat.
Right.
The conspirators most assuredly did not want this murder tied to the Armstrong kidnapping, and the true weapon with no incriminating mark upon it might never have been found if it had been thrown inches further.
Okay. So that was
Bloody
the real
steak
murder
knives
weapon.
aren't balanced properly for throwing. My hat's off to you, though, Miss Marceau. When I saw where it landed, I wasn't about to crawl out there and end up at the bottom of that ravine.
Ah.
It took some nerve doing what you did, and there's no denying it.
Hear, hear.
So, the improbable differences in the stab wounds is now explained. 2 so-called clues were dropped in the dead man's compartment. Mademoiselle?
Ah, so the steak knife was clean and was tried to be disposed of, and the other clue was a plant. The other clue was a plant, probably from Foscarelli, I would say. I'm still confused about who Hubbard is. The true clues, the blues clues. The blues clues dropped in the thing. Hold on, I gotta take a quick break. The blues clues dropped in the murder room. 1 second, I gotta take a quick break. Gotta take a break. Gotta take a quick break. Gotta take a quick break. Hang on 1 second. Gotta take a quick break. Be right back, and then we'll finish this game. Okay, had to just take a quick break. quick break. Just had to take a quick break. Okay, back to the game. So the two items we found that were hints. Just have to make a peanut butter sandwich while this ending to the game plays out. So I had to take. Thanks for the 110 bits, Madigan. Don't think I didn't see that. The button.
That isn't the correct item. I am holding up Monsieur Poirot's explanation.
What? It was found in there, though. The pipe cleaner.
The pipe cleaner, incriminating Colonel Arbuthnot, who had one of the strongest alibis and whose connection to the Armstrong family was probably the hardest to prove.
Okay.
And the second clue found in the room, mademoiselle?
Right, you needed to have the ham radio to prove that he served with Armstrong, Colonel. And the other thing was, whoa, the handkerchief?
The handkerchief. Incriminating Princess Dragomirov, who by virtue of her frail physique and the alibi given by her maid and Michel was practically in an unassailable position. Then there was the clue found at the shepherd's hut with the incriminating fingerprints. Do you have it, mademoiselle?
The stiletto, yeah. Oh, no, I mean the, padlock?
With Mateo's incriminating fingerprints on it.
Mm-hmm.
Not precisely cricket, you know, Tonio. To incriminate an innocent man.
Cyrus could swear Mateo had not entered the Calais coach. Michel informed us the radio was in the baggage car, and I went to put it out of commission. I did not want to destroy the equipment. It must have taken him much savings to purchase.
Wait, is he
so
admitting?
I only smashed the telegraph key. Signorina, you are a miracle worker for sure. To get the radio working again. I know about these things. That was a stroke of a genius.
Wait, he's admitting that he did
Stick
it?
to the point, Monsieur Foscarelli.
With great pleasure. The padlock was just hanging there. I found the snowshoes earlier, and then the shepherd's hut. I was supposed to find a good place for the uniform and the stiletto, and the hut was perfect. But I had to break the lock to enter. All I did was go and get the padlock on the radio crate. I didn't mean to point the finger at Mateo.
The other red herring was not a herring at all, but it was certainly red. Mademoiselle?
Willie, thanks for the 24 bits. I caught you, Madigan. Yeah, it's a double peanut butter sandwich. Wait, so everyone's admitting what they did? Okay, so Foscarelli admit the other clue, but what did he say? The kimono.
And then to put it in my valise was not a nice trick.
The kimono is mine, monsieur. And mademoiselle, I had no intention of trying to incriminate you. I had to put it someplace. And I thought it would be amusing if you found it there.
How
Very
you
amusing.
enjoy your little games, Countess.
Ah, oui.
Mademoiselle Freebody, indeed. Well, Madame Arden?
My way.
I always fancied myself in comedy parts. Bravo, Mr. Poirot. Well done.
Applause from an actress of your stature is praise indeed, madame.
We were all at the house, a house filled with almost unendurable pain and sadness. The Perkinson brothers were dead, but Cassetti had got clean away. We decided then and there that the sentence of death that Cassetti had escaped would be carried out. Little did we know how many years would pass, how many false leads Mr. Hardman would track down before Cassetti would be found.
Oh, Hardman.
Whatever country my work took me to, no matter how tough the case, I always saved plenty of time to try and pick up the trail. But he kept on the move. Brazil, Mexico, most of Europe. Ratchet was only the last of a string of aliases.
Oh, so that letter
Then
was
Mr.
fake.
Michel wrote to me.
He didn't
It was he who,
hire
quite
him.
by accident, had recognized Cassetti traveling aboard the Istanbul to Calais train. When we learned the man, now calling himself Ratchet, frequently traveled to the Middle East aboard the train, we knew we could have some control of the scene of our planned execution. It took months, but in time Ratchet hired both Hector and Masterman.
One of us would have been enough. Two were better.
Hector handled all of Ratchet's travel arrangements. With Michel's help, passage was booked on the same train he would be using to return from his latest excursion to the Orient.
No jelly.
The rest you seem to know.
Oui, madame. Indeed, the rest Poirot knows.
But I don't understand. You've uncovered everything. We know we did it. How can there be another solution?
Simplicity itself. There is among you one who is not who he pretends to be.
The doctor?
With the help of Mademoiselle Marceau, I will now present you with those clues which fit neither solution so far proposed, and present you with a truth that will surprise even you.
No, so...
I know some of you suspected something was not quite right, but let us now look at the clues that fit neither solution so far. Madame Schmidt says she saw the phantom attendant, but we know now it was sheer invention. Yet we have the testimony of an independent witness who says he saw the non-existent small dark attendant actually getting on the train. Mademoiselle?
Yeah, it's just glitching because of the green screen. No, no jelly, just peanut butter. It's called a big nut. Yeah, they call that a double nut. A double-decker peanut. Peanut sando. Okay, so they had all conspired to kill this guy, and they were looking for them when they found out he was going to be on here. They were all like, yo, let's all get on. So it was a pile-on. It was a pile-on murder. They all got together to get this guy dead and then cover it up. That actually kind of makes sense. That could kind of make sense. So who's the guy who's not who he pretends to be? Klaus, Lucien, Matteo, the fireman, or the engineer? I don't think it has anything to do with these two. Matteo? The ham radio guy? Lucien? I feel like it might be Lucien, but I have no idea. I'll say Lucien.
Lucien, the waiter.
No, mademoiselle.
Crap. Matteo?
Matteo, the Athens-Paris coach attendant.
Use the little grecelles, Mademoiselle Marceau.
God damn it. Klaus?
Klaus, the chef de cuisine.
Mademoiselle, I realize you have many clues to recall, but this one should be obvious.
What? What? I haven't found out any information about these two guys. The fireman?
The fireman.
No, mademoiselle.
All right, the engineer.
The engineer.
0 for 5.
The engineer while the train was in the Belgrade station. And then there is the crate of Monsieur Ratchet and its unknown occupant. What clues associate themselves with that crate, mademoiselle?
The engineer? The guy with no teeth? The guy who had his teeth knocked out? I don't remember finding out any information about him. The second attendant's uniform, the pile of books.
The second attendant's uniform.
Oui.
Why?
The uniform, I think, worn by the person the engineer saw. The pile of books, mademoiselle believes were useful in the planning of the crime, yet no one has mentioned them. And the fact that the person with access to that key would be in the best position to tell us something of the occupant of that crate. And lastly, there is the little matter of the kidnapping of Mademoiselle Marceau.
Oh.
The what?
Monsieur Foscarelli.
I would not harm the signorina.
It is why we are all here, to punish the kidnapper.
She's right, Poirot. How can you think any of us would resort to kidnapping after all we've been through?
As you can see, Monsieur Perkison, we have pieced together much of your story. Only the reasons remain, and I leave those to you.
What did you call him?
He called him Parkinson.
That is my name. Robert Perkinson.
GoldenEye sound.
Silence! At once! You will obey me in this and listen to what Monsieur Perkinson has to say. You owe to Poirot that, I think.
Please understand. I know how you must hate me. It was my dear wife Isabella, the unidentified woman the papers mentioned, who pleaded with Paul and me as the police closed in to let her take Daisy away. She was sick with grief.
Take Daisy away?
Cassetti killed the wrong little girl. He crept up while Teresa was alone outside and shot her in cold blood. He was gone again before we knew what had happened. We'd refused his orders to kill Daisy, you see.
Perkinson, the other
so
killer.
He took matters into his own hands and killed my little girl by mistake.
He was the kidnapper. He was another kidnapper.
Any group of people could know exactly how my wife felt, you are here before me. And we were afraid. Some accident when the police came. It was unthinkable the little girl should come to harm after we had just buried our own daughter. Some time after I escaped, after Paul had died in the electric chair, and Isabella had identified some John Doe found floating in the harbor as me, I joined Isabella and Daisy in France, where they now lived as mother and daughter. I knew we should return the child, but my wife would have died the day she was gone. The child now answered to the name of our little girl, Teresa, and called my wife Mama. You understood the meaning of the photograph, Mr. Poirot?
Your family. You, your wife, and your little girl. And once I realized that, I knew that you could not be Pierre Michel. I then began to consider who you must be.
That's why I had the picture.
Only one figure could not be accounted for with certainty. Robert Parkinson.
Last year, only days after my Isabella succumbed to a cancer that I think grew inside of her since the day of the kidnapping, I sought out Michel. He informed me of the plan to punish Cassetti, a plan that he, despite the death of his niece, never thought he could see through.
Why would he sought out Michel?
He showed me the letters Mrs. Hubbard had written to him. He was in a terrible state.
Why would he show that to him?
He had seen Cassetti.
Yes, twice. On this very train. I could see he was not a strong man and would not be able to face Ratchet. I looked at those letters and asked him one question. Had Mrs. Hubbard or any of the others ever met him in person? His answer was no.
Did you
I
kill
wanted
him?
Cassetti dead as much as any of you. He killed my child. And just as surely my wife. So here I am.
But, my granddaughter?
She has been staying with my wife's sister in Belgrade for the past few days. She came aboard the train there last night, dressed in an attendant's uniform. She changed into her regular clothes and has been camping out, as she calls it. The nuns at her school have kept up her studies, in English as well as French.
She is a good student indeed, to have brought all her school books with her on the camp out.
I told her to study. She has been staying in the baggage car in Ratchet's crate. Last night I took some food from Klaus's kitchen when he had gone off for a moment.
And the statue worth $4,000?
I dumped it on a trash heap near Sirkeki Station, I'm afraid.
Wait, so there's a little girl?
This cargo is far more precious.
At last, the riddle it is solved, n'est-ce pas, mademoiselle? And with a most satisfactory solution indeed.
So this girl's been here the whole time? Where was she when we went into that car? Out in the snow? Is that Armstrong? Is that Daisy Armstrong? Is that what they're saying? So Daisy Armstrong wasn't killed. The daughter of one of the kidnappers was killed, who was working with Cassetti. And then he took her as his daughter. Is that what they're saying? That's what I'm getting from it. That's what I'm getting from it. So one of the kidnappers that was working...
Mademoiselle Marceau, while they enjoy this brief moment before you render your final decision, let us, you and I, see whether you are up to the challenge the Poirot presented to you when our investigation began. Let us check the progress report you have been keeping in your scrapbook.
I feel like that part is what maybe they changed.
Marceau, Poirot must compliment you on a job well done. You are courageous. You face the dangers without flinching. You solve many puzzles that confront you, overcome many obstacles with enthusiasm and good humor. An above-average performance in every
Above
respect.
average, I'll take it.
Hopefully, with the knowledge you now have of my methods, you might do even better should you ever find yourself faced with another mystery to solve.
Like, let's say, Evil Under the Sun, coming next year from Awe Entertainment. I don't know what they changed in the game compared to the book, but I'm guessing it's that Parkinson, what's his name? Perkinson part?
You are the representative of the train company, Mademoiselle Marceau.
Not
You
sure.
have been instrumental in assembling the evidence that pointed to the solutions I have now shared. And you have been ill-used.
I am truly sorry, mademoiselle. I left you all of your belongings in that box, except the one I needed back. The key to the security room. You now know why. My precious cargo had to eat. You have proven to be most ingenious. Twice you almost discovered my secret passenger. I left the parasol for you to discover. I had no doubt you would free yourself. If not, I would have found an anonymous way to inform someone of your whereabouts.
Okay.
I understand why you did it.
As Monsieur Parkinson so rightly observes, you have proven your grey cells to be almost equal to those of Hercule Poirot. So, what do you say, Mademoiselle Marceau? Which solution shall we present to the Yugoslavian police in Broad?
The Perkinsons were in the book.
S'il vous plaît. It is now time to hear what Mademoiselle Marceau has decided.
So the Perkinson part was added. Okay, that makes sense. So that's the original solution, is that everyone got together to kill this guy in the book. Here are my thoughts on the first solution, the second solution. Well, the first solution, everyone gets away. The second solution, I don't even know what that is. The third, I don't want to... I mean, Perkinson was part of a kidnapping team, but he changed his life. I mean, I would just say the first solution. Just let everyone get away with it. The guy who got killed deserved to be killed. This guy's got to take care of his kid. He seems like a good father now, even though he was a kidnapper before. What was the second solution? Oh, the second solution was Hubbard. Oh, the second solution is you turn everybody in. Can I save? We did save it before, but I'll do the solution I would first choose, which would be just pretend it was like a killer who then fell in the snow.
Here are my thoughts on the first solution. It is not the truth, but fits the facts. At least one set of facts.
Mademoiselle.
And it will be the simplest by far to explain.
So mad. Wait, oh, these are my thoughts about the things? Oh, okay.
My opinion of the second solution is this. It is at least most of the truth, as much as 12 people in this car knew. They are self-confessed murderers, and yet, no, that word is wrong. Justice was done here. Of a kind, perhaps not the justice I would have preferred. In that, I agree with Colonel Arbuthnot. But still, can there be anyone, knowing Ratchet and knowing these people as well as I now do after only a few hours, who can't see the rightness of their cause? These are my feelings about the third solution. It is the whole truth. More heartache than even these 12 people knew. And it must stop somewhere, mustn't it? There are lives to build and rebuild here. I think of Greta's words on her postcard, and of the family that had one last day in the sun at Coney Island before the storm engulfed them. I think they all, including Monsieur Perkinson, deserve a chance in the sun again. Therefore,
Evil under the sun.
It is my belief, Monsieur Poirot, the first theory you put forward was the correct one.
Oh, it doesn't even let you
An
choose.
unknown enemy of Monsieur Ratchet, whom the murdered man feared, sneaked aboard the train disguised as an attendant and is responsible for the murder. Unfortunately, he is still at large, or lies frozen in a snowbank somewhere awaiting the spring thaw. I suggest that is the solution we offer to the
you don't even
Yugoslavian
choose.
police when we arrive in Broad.
Okay, I would have chosen that anyway.
Dr. Constantine?
Even if I did not owe you and Mademoiselle Marceau so much, I have learned to leave such matters to those best qualified to decide. I, of course, accept Mademoiselle Marceau's decision.
Alright, we got away with it. Okay, cool. High fives all around.
Yeah, that's my view. What did I tell you?
Is the book?
Thank you.
They're
Monsieur
taking liberties with the
Poirot,
first
your
solution.
ankle.
It feels much better. And Poirot? He has been cooped up in his room far too long. He has the need of some fresh air.
I was fine all along. Poirot was lying the whole time. He actually could have walked around. He just didn't feel like solving the murder.
Mr. Michel, I'm sorry. Perkinson. I cannot find it in my heart to hate you. All I find there is forgiveness and thankfulness for giving us back something we thought we'd lost forever. In fact, it seems you are now one of the family.
So the girl's still alive in
Thank
this
you.
game.
Daisy, child. My dear.
Okay.
I am your grandmother.
Oh, that's cool. Oh no, Flan just got destroyed. Whoops. Flan got destroyed. Who is that? Is that a Simpsons character? Who is that, Flan? Alright, that was a cool little twist. I think that was a cool little twist. It didn't make perfect sense. Please, let's kiss me, Poirot. Under the snowy clouds of wherever the hell we are. That was a cool little they come up with cool ideas for the changes they do, I think. But it wasn't like, that didn't really make sense. Like he said, he sought out the attendant. You know, like how would he do that? I don't know that he would really do that, but maybe. That game was okay. I think it was a well told story throughout the game, but there wasn't much of a game there. It was like mostly just talking to people, going through the dialogue options, and then going and telling Poirot what you found out, and Poirot saying go find more stuff, which was mostly just talking to people or going through their luggage to get the clues, one clue in every luggage, getting their fingerprints. There was some aspects of finding fingerprints, you know, in special places, and some puzzles, and some of the puzzles were just kind of silly, like, you know, shooting the wolves. I think there wasn't enough like that you were doing as a player, but it was fine. It was a fine told story. I think they told the story fine. Yeah. But you just weren't really, I didn't feel like I was playing much. You know, there was, even at the end, you couldn't even make a choice. Like, maybe they could have given you 3 endings, right? Like, you can choose what to tell the police, but it didn't even give you a choice there. But it was fine. It was probably a better told story than and then there were none, which was just randomly wandering around. You know? I got tricked into reading a book. Damn it. You're right. This was basically reading what was listening to a book? Well, which is at least I didn't have to read, Mac-ass. Have you ever played a point and click? Yeah. But this was more like a visual novel. This is more visual novel than adventure game. Like, there wasn't that much actual, like, doing things as a player, other than just talk to person, 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 talk to 20 people, and then go look in all their luggage, and then talk to 20 people again. I'm not saying it was bad. This thing was good. But, you know, I like adventure games where you do a little more as a player. You have more choices. I mean, even in the first game, they give you like 4 endings. You only get 1 ending in this one. And in that way, And Then There Were None was better. You were doing more, even though a lot of the things in And Then There Were None, you're just wandering around randomly to find the event. You were doing more, and it had 4 different endings you could watch. But this was still a cool game. I still like this game. This is like more for like if you like the books, you play the book, and you don't have to deal with like too much janky puzzle crap. So, I mean, it was great watching Figure It Out for me. I feel like, yeah, like they actually answered the thing of like, why are all these people tied to the Armstrong case on the train? It's because that's what the answer was. The weirdest thing was the answer. Like, they were all here to kill this guy. Hey, Mexatron, yeah, we just finished it. What time is it? 1 o'clock. And then make a bad... Okay, yeah, actually, that was bad. That was bad. I don't know how you were supposed to figure out the battery from the punch bowl. You could figure that out. I don't know how you were